All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello once again. This is the Gafford and Brown Show. I'm Lamar Gafford.
And I'm Robert Brown.
Once again, we have ourselves another good show where we're talking about the NBA Finals and pretty much everything else that's going on in the NBA world, and we're also going to tie in the other sports to go along with it. First, most importantly, it's finals time, and we finally got to game one of the finals of matchup that we really have been wanting to see for the last couple of years. The Miami Heat and the San Antonio Spurs. Game one of the best matchups. I think we got like a 10.2 rating on like the Nielsen ratings, one of the better ones of all time.
Sounds about right.
Spurs won the game 92-88. Very good game all the way around from both teams. I know you didn't get a chance to see the game, but if you saw, some of the clips and the highlights and everything, what could you take away from the game?
I would take away the fact that it's going to be everything that we thought it would be. This is a matchup that a lot of people thought we would see for the last couple of years. The year the Heat, the Big Three got together, Spurs had the number one seed in the West. They looked like they were going to be world beaters, and they had that unfortunate loss to Memphis. Last year, the Spurs once again looked to be a dominant team, world beaters again. Made it to the Western Conference Finals. 2-0 to Oklahoma City, lost. So this is the matchup we've been waiting to see, and it looks like it's going to be everything we want it to be.
It really has, and especially with the game that we had yesterday. It was kind of like pretty much like you really wanted to see both of these teams. I mean, we seen that during the season both teams held their players out. I think the game in Miami, Pop sat down his big three of Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker, and then in the counteract with that, when they went to San Antonio, Spoelstra basically sat out LeBron, Wade, and I think Chalmers, which Bosh played in that game, and they won that one. But basically, we got everything that you could really ask for. Very close game. Wasn't too many turnovers in the game. We only had actually 12 for the whole game.
Spurs only had 4,
and that is shocking.
That is amazing.
On the road.
To go on the road with weeks of rest. And people were talking about rust and all these other things, but no sign of that.
None at all. And it's just goes to show once again that's just how the Spurs are. I mean, you may not like the way that they play, but dang it, they're good always. Popovich always instills. He basically instills a very good basketball mentality on this team. And, the players just continue to, just do very well for them and all.
Right. And once again, another great game from the Spurs Trinity, Duncan, Ginobili, Parker. Parker with the basically game-winning shot. Duncan with another stellar game.
Mm-hmm.
Ginobili with the energy. Then you had guys like Danny Green and Leonard stepping up, especially Danny Green, a guy who, from North Carolina, bounced around a little bit, found a home in San Antonio, become their three-point specialist / defensive guy. Leonard with a great job of playing defense on LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Just a good game from the Spurs. This is a team that people say they look, maybe they're going to be tired, rough, things like that. And they show a lot of resolve.
Yeah. I mean, if there was at all anything that you probably could want them to do a little bit better was some cases here and there, three-point shooting maybe a little bit here and there. But, I mean, with Danny Green making 4 three-point shots, and then we were looking at here, which he provided a very good job coming off. Kawhi Leonard, of course, like we said, he gives you defense and here and there. He got you 10 points in that game. He actually, surprisingly, and this is surprising to me, he had a double-double this game. I did not even know that. That was probably one of the quietest doubles I've seen.
Right.
Anyway, but yeah, basically, you just had pretty much an all around good performance. The other thing that really shocked me about the whole thing was Tony Parker. 21 points, 6 assists, but most importantly, the unbelievable shot that he basically pretty much iced the game. And then also, in 40 minutes of play, he had 0 turnovers.
Yeah. And Tony Parker's the guy we talked about earlier that he's elite, but he doesn't get put in the elite category. When you hear best point guard, you think Chris Paul, Rondo, Westbrook, but you hear Parker's name get mentioned maybe at the tail end. And now with the finals and, you know, the fact that he outplayed Chris Paul in the playoffs once again, head to head, a lot of elite point guards being injured, a lot of people are saying that Parker is now not even top 5, number 1 now. And I think that might be a little overzealous, but at the same time, he's definitely underrated in his own right.
Definitely is. And I think it's just mostly because I think we've said this before. People have this notion about the Spurs. They're people really don't watch the Spurs because some people still stuck in that mind frame that they probably were like 5 years ago. Boring. This is a different Spurs team. They are a little bit more exciting, and they are a much better team to watch now than they were back then. And getting the chance to look at how Parker has done this season, and also how Parker has done during the season. Let us not forget about this. Before he got hurt, Tony Parker his name was being mentioned for the MVP, at least being round right there. So let's not forget about that. And right now, I would say that I would put him in that top 5 category as far as the point guards that are in the league right there. Of course, obviously, I would say Chris Paul's number 1. Pretty much, 2. I would probably go with maybe Rondo. We just have to see how he comes back from his injury. Rose is in there. See how he comes back from his injury. Westbrook is in there. See how he comes back from his injury. So I would say Parker's pretty much going to be in that top 5, maybe top 6 range, somewhere like that. How about you?
I would say top. That's hard because he has the rings, he has the jewelry and stuff, the accolades. But I don't know. I guess I could put him in my top 5, maybe half-heartedly. You're always gonna have Rondo, but Chris Paul, and he's outperformed Chris Paul twice,
right,
in the playoffs. I don't know. I think he's at the bottom of the top 5.
I think, and that's just pretty much most of, and it's another reason why it's been so tough, really, to rank these point guards, is because there's just so many good ones. I mean,
right.
There's just so many good ones.
Yeah, the league is top heavy in point guard right now.
Right, and so it kind of reminds you of like the '90s where we had a lot of good centers out there, and you had point guards and all this stuff, but you had a top heavy list of centers. Now you have basically a top heavy list of point guards, and so the first tier is always going to be stacked. The second tier is always going to be stacked. And, you also got the new breed and all that stuff. That's going to be stacked as well. It's just, but once again, I would think Parker would be at least in that first. You got to consider him at that first tier. You have to consider him based on what he does. He might not be flashy enough, but yeah, he's going to definitely get the job done. And yesterday's stat line was pretty much basically, the reason why this showed you right there.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end here, look at the Miami Heat, and they had only 3 days, well, I think 3 days of rest here. And it was another great game by LeBron James. 18 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists. Unfortunately, many people are going to talk about the fact here that the Heat lost, and I cannot blame LeBron one bit because he basically showed every single thing right there that he needed to show about this game. How about you?
It did look that way. It looked that way to start. I just want to mention how much Chris Bosh is not really being a factor the way we thought he would be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is a guy. He's a guy that was a huge piece of the championship puzzle, and for him not to become kind of a perimeter guy is not good. And D Wade, he had a solid night. How many points did he finish with?
17.
17. He had some solid contribution, but we're so used to seeing him take over in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And people are going to question his health, and does he still have it throughout the whole series?
Right.
So we're still waiting to see him have that dynamic game we're used to seeing from him.
And it's funny that you bring this up because a lot of people talk about this, I think, during the playoffs, especially during the Pacers series. What's wrong with D Wade? Is he still going to be the same player and all this stuff? Many people probably even brought up amnesty. I don't even know about that. And that's just crazy right there. Because he still is a very good player. But the problem is, I think I listened to this on Dan Le Batard's show once before. Like, once your game, he's always been this slasher and an attacker and all that stuff. And injuries have kind of taken his toll a little bit now, and he's gonna have to adjust. I think what he did in the past 2 games, I think he did an okay job. Game 7 against the Pacers, he did a nice job, and I think in the first half against the Heat, the first half of this series against the Spurs, he did a very nice job. It's just that he kind of tailed off at the end. Still had 17 points, but you kind of got to do a little bit better. Chris Bosh, I don't know what's up in his case though. I mean, once again, you mentioned about the jump shooting. Bosh had 13 points. But he only had 5 rebounds. That, in a way, is kind of unacceptable for a center because I would rather for him to get in the post, and I know he's always been a finesse guy, but I would rather for him to get in the post, get rebounds and all of that. I mean, it's just crazy. The Heat did out-rebound the Spurs by about 9 rebounds, I think. But after LeBron, Chris Bosh was the second best in rebounds with 5. And in a way, that's kind of like, I would respect my center to have a little bit more than 5 rebounds and stop shooting whenever he knows that basically the mid-range, if it's not working for you, stop shooting it. He was 0 for 4 on 3-point shots.
Right. I think it's ridiculous for him to be shooting that many threes in a game. I think Bosh is going to have a breakout game this series. Don't know when, but I think it's going to happen. But I think he definitely has to stop depending on threes and jumpers so much and get a little aggressive because there's not really a Spur that can take him head on. Tim's good enough to play defense on him, but Bosh had the finesse. He had the added tools in his game, to still be productive in the post. So I think he definitely needs to take a bigger role in the paint.
Yeah, definitely. And Clarence has also said here, it might be better. It better be on Sunday if the Heat want to make this a long series, and definitely so.
You know what? If this is going to sound weird, but I think if any team can come back from an 0-2 deficit, it'll be the Heat against the Spurs. I know people are like, well, San Antonio's probably going to step on the gas, but I think Miami is good enough to come back from that deficit because I don't know. I think LeBron's going to take over. People say he was passive in his last game. It's hard to call a triple-double passive, but he's going to have one of those FU games.
Oh, yeah.
Where he scores 30, 10, 8, and that might change the series. You know, he's going to have a game where he just takes over.
It is.
And I'm pretty sure D Wade has enough left for him to come through one more time.
Right. It's bound to happen. I think it's bound to happen, to be honest with you. We really know what LeBron is capable of doing. I'd say this. I think they win. I'll go. At all.
So,
Not at all. And if there is, I know people going to try to blame it on him, but
yeah, he's going
to get the blame.
He's going to take all.
But to be honest with you, dang it, they're probably. I don't think it's warranted. It's as warranted.
I don't think it's warranted. I don't think there was a big three really. I think it's LeBron. It's not like Cleveland where it was LeBron and them.
Yeah.
But it's his team.
Yes.
It's been his team since he got there.
Right.
And that's why I say D Wade was the smartest man in basketball because he knew how much those injuries took a toll on his body.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that, he doesn't have necessarily a long shelf life, maybe say a Kobe or someone.
Mm-hmm.
So he got, his best friends to come play with him.
Right.
And it's working in his favor. And I really believe LeBron just doesn't want that repeat. He doesn't want to go be that guy that just, people are going to say, hey, you only won because you're playing with D-Wade and Chris Bosh.
Right.
So I think he has that chip on his shoulder. And he doesn't want to lose to the Spurs again.
No.
Not again. I'm pretty sure he still has nightmares about, losing to them in 07. And which I never hold it against him because the fact that he took that team to the finals is a
miracle in
itself. That was the worst team in my lifetime I've seen play in the finals.
Oh, gosh, yes.
That was worse than the 01 Iverson team.
Yeah.
At least Iverson had Mutombo.
Yeah.
LeBron had what, Varejao, Booby.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking good.
No.
And he took that team to the finals. So
No.
I never hold them losing to the Spurs against them.
Not exactly. I mean, basically, and coming into the finals, I think he was so fired up, and he was saying that he kind of didn't want to see this happen again, and all that, and he pretty much put his stamp in Game 1, and I got a feeling that however many games this series is going to go, Spurs win, Miami's going to win whichever one here. You're going to see at least LeBron put a stamp in his series. He's not going to be as passive as he was in 2011.
It's going to be an FU game.
He's not going to be we're not going to see an 8-point game from him in that series. No, we're not going to we're not going to see that.
No.
So LeBron, and he's already off to a good start, but I mean, it's just the other players.
It's contribution, and they're gonna have. I think they're gonna play their part. And they're gonna step up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm not sold on Miami. That's what I hate about the Miami thing. Now Miami can lose one game, and all of a sudden, people are throwing the towel in on them. I got faith in them. I mean, last year OKC took the first game, so. We saw how that went. So I think this is going to be a close series. Did we ever make predictions on it?
We didn't make predictions on this one.
So how many games do you see it going now, and who you have winning?
I said Spurs and 6 coming into this series, and I'm still probably going to go ahead and say Spurs and 6.
Spurs and 6. God, this is hard. I'm going to go Miami in 7.
Okay.
I'm going Miami in 7. Hell, just to be the devil's advocate, because I want to see a Game 7.
Right.
I think Game 7 in the finals would be good, especially with these two teams. And hell, this is David Stern's last hurrah, so
hey, why don't you go out with bang?
Go out with Game 7.
Yeah, basically so. And Clarence had kind of brought up something that we had mentioned this too, and I think we talked about this during the. I think we talked about this in the conversation before the show. We were talking about the those '07 Cavs here. You know, how different would it have been if let's say they didn't make it to the finals? Let's say the Pistons made it to the finals against the Spurs.
Well, if the Pistons would have made it to get that part 2 of Detroit San Antonio would have been good, but I think San Antonio would have won the game because I mean you saw I think Cleveland won that series in 6, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and you saw
after having the 2, I think they were down 2-0. I want to say they were down 2-0 to the Spurs,
right.
to the Pistons that year.
And that team, I mean,
in Game 6, I want to say the Pistons.
Yeah, I remember Boobie going off.
Yeah, he went off, and I think the Pistons. I can remember that Game 6 to this day, where the Pistons were pretty much almost getting ready to take the lead, and I think Rasheed Wallace, he blows up, he gets 2 technical fouls. And even if the Pistons would have won that game, he wouldn't have been playing in Game 7, and that kind of would have been, you know, a little bit of a detriment right there. So that's one thing too. Clarence also says Spurs in 6. He says, but if they win Game 2, this is over 5.
Wow, Clarence, that's bold. That's bold. I can't see. LeBron loses in 5. It would be Twitter would. Oh my God. Oh my! I feel bad for the brothers. They lost in 5.
Oh gosh, yes. I would feel bad for them, but then again, I would just think that, hey, you know, pretty much this. By the way, we have a lot of people asking about us logging in here. Yes, you can actually click on and listen to us right here on the site, or also if you want to try to get on here. Skype was at primetime 2832. We'll get you on the show, or also we'll try to get your comments as well on here too.
I just can't see them losing in 5 though. Even if they did lose 2 in Miami, I still couldn't see them losing in 5. But you never know. But I have too much faith in LeBron right now. I think that Dallas series really bothered him. You know, I remember reading the stories about how he sat in the house, he grew the big beard and got depressed.
Right. Yeah, that's just one of those things too. Well, at least the good thing is we also know that LeBron's going to be on 2K14. He's going to do the cover on there. So that's one thing there. By the way, Clarence is calling right now for us. So he's going to explain, first of all, how you doing, Clarence?
I'm doing great, Robert. How's it going, man?
Good.
Right. Here's what I think about that. Yesterday's game really showed me that Miami should have won that game. I mean, I think Miami should have won that game. I think they should have won it. I think right now, as Skip Bayless said this morning, San Antonio didn't steal that game. They took it. They took it.
Right.
They snatched that game from them. I mean, the only reason why I say that is, Robert, if Miami loses Sunday night and go 0-2, you can't tell me LeBron really gonna tighten up. That's 0-6 against the Spurs in finals in the NBA finals. This is a deja vu all over again. Now, and I think right now the 3-2-3 format is not Miami's best friend. If they go down 0-2, that is not their best friend right now.
It's not at all.
I know Jeff Van Gundy said a lot about trying to change that as well. So I disagree. Well, me and you, Lamar, disagree with that.
Yes.
But the 3-2-3 format wouldn't be in their best favor if they did go down 0-2 with it. I mean, I don't know. You would have to win 3 games in San Antonio to even try to end this in 6 or 7 or whatever. And I just, in recent history, I don't know the Spurs losing 2 straight playoff games at home like that. I think it's happened a couple of times. I know the Lakers did it one time. But two out of 3, I don't know.
I feel you, Clarence, but I really just have faith in LeBron ever since that last year. I think that Dallas lost, the criticism, all that. I think it made him a better player, and I think it made him handle adversity better. that's why I'm faithful in them still being in it if they were to lose Sunday. However, I do see your point because this is not your daddy's Spurs. These Spurs, man, this Spurs team is ruthless. They will step on your neck, and they will. What they did against Memphis, that showed me that this is a new Spurs team.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you this right now. I mean, I'll go as far as saying this. Let's keep this in perspective. Okay, go back to the Dallas series. Remember, that was Dirk. That was just Dirk. That was Dirk's revenge on any. Dirk just had a revenge out. He had a vendetta for Dwayne Wade. He was going to finish that by himself. He was totally. I go back and look at clips of that game. Go back and look at clips of that series now. Dirk. That was just the player out. I'm taking this NBA Finals. LeBron, you're just damaged. You're just in the way of this, so therefore you're collateral damage, LeBron. And that's all there is to it. Look at that. Last year, I think, like I said, the Thunder were happy to be there. They were happy to be there. LeBron got Skip was dead on with this. LeBron got the greatest matchup of all time. It's his buddy, it's his friend. Wasn't nobody who had a killer instinct there. You know. That right there is that. This year, as I tell people in this little sports group that I'm in on Facebook, that's not Scott Brooks down on the other side of the court right now. That's not Scott Brooks down there. I'm telling you for Spo right now. That's not Scott Brooks right now. If Spo can't if he doesn't find a way to outcoach Pop in this series, I don't care what the talents are going to match each other out. If you don't outcoach Pop in this series, you can forget about it. I'm telling you right now, you can forget about it.
Right, yeah, and you know, Pop is a slick dude, man, and you know the rotation he's using, and seeing Danny Green and Leonard step up like that is huge. It's like, Miami needs that help. I don't know if some of those guys right now are capable of doing that. I mean, I think Chalmers gonna have a big game.
Right.
I think Haslam has to play harder. He has to play better. Cole is a guy that's oh man, Tony Parker kind of took his soul last night. And,
one of the last couple of minutes of the game. I mean, Cole played okay.
Yeah.
Their reserves played okay yesterday. It's just when it got to crunch time, and this reminded me, go back to the Dallas series a couple years ago. They were fine in those games until the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, things got a little tight. Now, what we know now is, of course, Jason Terry and Tyson Chandler and a lot of other people pretty much had a lot to do with that too, going around trash talking on the court, destroying confidence.
Right.
I don't think the Spurs are not saying anything here. They're just doing it. Right there, this showed me that those guys played well yesterday too. Danny Green is the X factor for me for the Spurs. If Danny Green can have games like that right there, they're gonna have to account for him at some point, which means Wade's gonna have to D him up. And I know right now with that knee right now, I don't know how well that's going to be. And I know I kind of saw yesterday they left him open in the corner there. But I mean, remember, you guys remember this sequence last night? Remember there was a sequence, I think it was the end of the third quarter going into the fourth quarter. It was right before the end of the third quarter. Remember Kawhi Leonard missed 2 corner shot 3-pointers that normally he would make. I believe Danny Green missed a 3-pointer and Gary Neal missed a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
I thought at that point then Miami should have ripped the game open. And this is why I think right now neither team will run away from the other team in this series, because I just think that series, that chain of events right there really kept. Because I mean, if you remember from that point on, I think that's when the Spurs really just went into. There's 2 points in this game that I remember. I know that's 1 point. And then there's another point that the Spurs came out and they just clicked into it. Remember Duncan had his first foul trouble when he was 0-5. I didn't know he was 0-5 for the field. He went out and sat down for a while. When he came back, I mean, he went to Birdman. Boy, he took it to Birdman. I tell you what, that man got 2 quick fouls and he just took it to Birdman. All of a sudden, Duncan got alive real quickly. And I know then that's a problem. But I mean, if you look at both teams, a lot of shots wasn't falling. I think in the fourth quarter for Miami, a lot of their shots wasn't falling. If you looked at the second and third quarters for the Spurs, a lot of their shots wasn't falling. So I think, both teams didn't play well. I just thought Miami played better of the two. If you had to pick, both teams didn't play their best game.
Right.
But looking at the reserves and stuff, I think if you look at outside of the big three, I think Chalmers had 10 points. I think he was the other key player who had double figures. But
Chalmers
Ray,
had 8. Yeah, Chalmers had 8. Ray actually had 13.
No, Ray had 13. I'm sorry. Ray had 13. I said, no, okay, I was just thinking about it. Ray, Ray pretty much stepped up. I think Battier, I don't think he's really. I know the Mike Miller thing. I'm glad he finally took Mike Miller off the bench and played him. I guess that.
Right. Now, if LeBron somehow loses this series, where does it dent his legacy right now?
No. And the only reason why I would say no in this situation is you gotta look at. I think for one, Indiana exposed this team. They exposed this team from here on out. Right now, this team as presently constituted, if they do win the NBA Finals, it's because the Spurs either run out of gas or LeBron just goes Cleveland. LeBron does what Dwayne Wade did in 06. He just goes off. He just goes. I mean, go take over. Like we all remember what D Wade did after they were down to that series. Okay, Robert, that's the only reason why. But although this is different because they're going on the road for 3 games, I don't know about that. Playing against the San Antonio team, historically very good at home. I don't know about that. That's why I said this is very important for them to win. But LeBron would have to go and do what Dwayne Wade did in 06 if they had any opportunity to come back from something a deficit like that. But most likely LeBron is going to have to take over more. And I think LeBron in this game, in that last game, I think he took Dwayne Wade said they wasn't getting enough shots. They wasn't doing this, they wasn't doing that. Okay, game 7, I guess Indiana again. Indiana was a really very inexperienced team. Coaching wise wasn't that experienced. Well,
can't come back.
I don't want to say they were happy to be there, but they just didn't have that team. They didn't have the team to do that. And I think the Spurs had that team. They tried that again in this game, and the Spurs let them know right then and there. You better if you want LeBron James to dish out the ball and do all this and that, you better score your points. That's the only other way we're going to beat you off. And it looked like, and if you look at it here, it looked like a lot of what they forced LeBron to take jumpers here. It looked like Pop went back to what he did in 07. Like he forced them to start taking jumpers. He forced, LeBron didn't drive the lane as much. He told him, hey, I remember in 07, hey, you can take any shot out there if you want to. Any shot out there you want, you can take it. It's yours. You're not coming in the paint. You're not coming in the paint like that. You're not going.
And we all know, unless he gets hot, where he has one of those, high hand nights. Look, LeBron is very, very hit and miss with those jumpers sometimes, especially from behind the arc. Right. So, I mean, you give him those shots. You say beat us from the outside. You might have yourself. I could see that 5. Them winning in 5 if LeBron plays into that game plan. But at the same time, I just can't see LeBron going out like that right now. I just can't.
Nah.
Robert, I can't see it either, but it's just, I think, like I said, I think Indiana, even Chicago, healthier Chicago, well, I always say Indiana is a healthier Chicago now. I just think Indiana really exposed the team for what they are right now. I think that Pat Riley's really going to have to do a gut check. They cannot win the championship with this team constantly present. Well, the big three is fine, but they're gonna need a guy at the paint. They're gonna need to control. They're gonna need to do this. I think they're running up and down the court. They're trying to dictate the pace. That is what they do. But the Spurs, I think they tried that in the first half, but then they came out in the second half. Pop said, we're gonna ugly this game up. We're gonna make this game ugly now. We're gonna slop this game up some, and that's what they did. I just think that I don't think LeBron will get killed for this like he did 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago LeBron got killed because he left Cleveland, went to Miami, got to the NBA Finals again, and then he just disappeared. And a lot of reported he just disappeared. I don't see him. He better not disappear in these games here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you might have Skip Bayless going going back and killing him again.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and that's what he wants. But I don't know about necessarily. I wouldn't say exposed necessarily from Indiana because the thing about that Miami team is like I always believe what Joakim Noah said. They Hollywood as hell, and if you punch them in the mouth, you know it's gonna take them a while to react. You know, ever since they've been together, we've seen. I remember young Philly got got a win against them. You know,
Yeah.
There's always been chinks in that armor, and just like last year when Boston took them 7, you know, it was a banged up Boston team, took them 7 games. So I think the writing's been on the wall, but you're right. If they do fall short in this finals, Pat Riley's gonna have to go to the drawing board and cook something up. And I really feel like Bosch might be expendable.
I was just getting ready to say that.
Bosch.
If they did lose this series and Bosch is to play well, he might be the first to go.
Yeah.
He might be the weak link because D Wade. I mean, granted, LeBron is the face of the team now. He's the leader.
Yeah, I don't.
He's the franchise guy.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. D Wade is kind of like in Paul Pierce's shoes right now. I feel like
Basically.
Boston doesn't want to really let Paul Pierce go because he's putting in so much work. But you know, you kind of gotta do something eventually. But they don't want their blood on their hands. I don't think Pat Riley wants to do that to D Wade.
Well, Pat Riley. Well, here's the interesting thing that Bill Simmons brought up yesterday. He brought us up yesterday, right? Was it? I think the halftime. I think it was right around halftime. 2014. It's a big year for Miami. This time next season, you're LeBron James. Do you leave? Because if you leave, if Pat Riley, you know, he's a broken 70. Does he? Is next year the final swan song for this big team? Is this, you know, as some of the people in my Facebook group that I'm in called Coalition Building team, does this team, you know, really break up after this season? I mean, remember now, this is their 3rd straight finals appearance. You don't see too many teams making a 4th. Not even the old Bulls team, they did make 4 appearances. You don't see too many 4th appearances. So right now, with Chicago, with Derrick Rose coming back next season, with Indiana, one point guard, one true point guard away from possibly, and some shooters away from possibly saying, hey, let's go 7 again, and I know this time we'll beat you. You know, you still got Boston here if they decide to keep KG and Pierce and Rondo.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're really going into this season wondering, okay, is it really worth trying this one more time?
Right.
Because after next season, you have to think that this Miami Heat team, that's it. LeBron's probably leaving. If he doesn't leave, you know, if Wade continues to get injured, you know, I mean, you don't necessarily want to hit the big R word up.
Right. And you know, LeBron, not to say LeBron's in Dwight Howard range of head cases, but you never know what LeBron has up his sleeve.
Right.
You never know LeBron. LeBron's a smart dude, and you know he's got smart guys around him.
Mm-hmm.
So he always thinks more than basketball. Remember a while ago the whole global icon thing.
Yeah.
So it's more than basketball in his eyes. So I mean he's won a ring. He got the finals appearance. I mean, L.A. is sexy. Hollywood is sexy. Lakers, I don't know.
And again,
Well, hang up to this point. Remember, he's from Akron, Ohio. He pretty much had the kingdom where it was. It's just, I think a lot of him leaving Cleveland had something to do with, and I always say this to this very day, it's the Kevin Garnett effect.
Yeah.
Garnett stayed in Minnesota for all those years, tried to be loyal, didn't work out.
No, didn't give him no help.
He didn't want that same thing to happen. He didn't want to wait to the ending part of his career to win one ring.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
KG did. All right. The thing is, KG left in 2003 when he could have left.
Yeah.
You know, he's gone.
Right.
He's probably got maybe 2 or 3 championships.
Right.
That's one of the reasons why I don't kill LeBron James from leaving.
No,
That's one of the reasons why I don't kill him.
I don't kill him at all. I agree with you because you look at those Cleveland teams, man. I mean, who was the Danny Ferry? I believe. Was
Yeah.
him? He was throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what was gonna stick, man. I mean, when they made the move,
He's doing that in Atlanta right now. So.
yeah, when they made the move for Antoine Jameson, I was like, Antoine, that's the best y'all got. That's gonna keep LeBron in Cleveland. Y'all get Antoine Jameson, boy. Oh yeah, I mean the moves he made. And granted, LeBron can play with anybody.
Because I think I can remember what one of my friends was saying. It was kind of like shuffling the chips of the Titanic just to hope that the boat doesn't sink
too much. The Shaq move was a question mark. I didn't get that.
I mean, the best free agent.
I mean, they
best free agent they really gave him was
Mo Williams.
I mean, they were a great regular season. He dropped what they had 260 wins. They were great regular season. Great in the regular season, boy.
But when the playoffs came, it was like.
Especially against Orlando, wow, they were going. All of a sudden, Orlando showed me something.
Oh yeah. The Michael Jordan, the turkey, Turkaloo, man, like he wasn't having it.
And I still remember Orlando to this day. They basically gave everybody the great blueprint of basically beating those Cavaliers. You know what? Just let LeBron do whatever he wants to do. His teammates are basically going to get disinterested in the game, and when it comes down to the fourth quarter, when he needs them to have to do something, they're going to choke.
Yeah.
And turned out, that's what happened.
If
Right.
you look at it, well, Lamar, you look at it right now.
That's what they.
Like I say, he has a better supporting cast now. It's just that they're not showing up. Basically, have you ever heard the term, you picked the wrong day to have a bad game?
Right.
Yeah.
That's really what's going on with him right now. But they're not having one bad game. You picked the wrong season to have a bad postseason right now.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them are not showing up. And I just think that, you really have to look beyond this year. And that's why I think right now, this is probably Miami's best chance at winning another championship.
I agree with that.
Right.
Because OKC's coming back next year.
Right. Yeah, got too many teams coming back. Right now,
Chicago.
The Knicks, Indiana. I'm still. We still have to wait and see how Chris Paul and Dwight gonna go. I mean, Chris Paul might jump ship to the Eastern Conference. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or let's not.
Well, they might not go to Atlanta because they might get in trouble.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget. Remember when Chris Paul went to Carmelo's wedding, and him, Amari, and Melo had to talk about forming a big three. I'm not.
Well, somebody has to go from that.
Well, you know Amari go. Ain't like Amari. We love you, but yeah, you're not gonna fit this picture right now. You gotta go. Yeah. Oh man, they couldn't give him away for free.
No.
Hey, look, man, we give you Amari and an oil change, They still not gonna take it.
It's $3 million. Nobody still wants.
Ooh, man.
I do remember that, but right now, somebody has to go from that in order for that to happen. Right now, if they do want to do something, here's an interesting situation. Interesting one that I've heard of, but Paul will have to, of course, take a pay cut to do it. And here's where we test: do you really want to win for your legacy, or do you really want your money? And I guess here's the balance between those two. Indiana for Chris Paul.
That's perfect.
If Chris Paul decides to go to Indiana, remember now, they re-signed David West. You might have to tell Chris Paul, okay, you have to sign. It has to be some cheap deal, whatever. You definitely have to trade Granger. Remember, CP3 played with David West. Had one of his best seasons with David West.
Right.
And you got Fred there too.
Right.
Paul there. Remember, Indiana is a true point guard.
Exactly, because George.
Point guard with that team.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because George Hill, as efficient as he was during the regular season, he's not that guy for the playoffs. DJ Augustine, Darren Williams' little brother, he not gonna cut it, man. They need it. You're right. I heard somebody in a sports group. I remember we made the same assessment about, man. Hey, Chris Paul really wants that ring. You go to the East where it's an easier road. You don't have to see San Antonio. You don't have to see the Lakers. You don't have to see OKC. I mean, if he wants that ring, I agree with that. But Miami, I heard Sacramento say that DeMarcus Cousins is on the table. Could you see Chris Paul? I mean, not Chris Paul, but Pat Riley maybe making a move for Cousins. Maybe getting Bosh.
Yeah, I'm about to say one of the big three would have to go.
Yeah, Bosh, definitely Bosh.
Like to think Bosh would have to be traded. They do. You know what? Look, they do need a center. They need something. They need center. They need a young center.
Yeah.
It depends. Is Spo really going to be a big time personality to deal with that?
I think.
Well, you know what?
Let's see here. As we're going to try to get Clarence back on the air right here. Here it is.
It's quite interesting. I think Boston was another team that made.
Oh, Boston.
Yeah.
Boston just. Oh my God, Boston just dropped the ball on that. I mean, they had all the pieces to get.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Courtney Lee. You got Fab Melo. All these. You got all those pieces. They could have had Cousins if they wanted them.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just dropped the ball, but I know for sure if Miami. The thing about Cousins, I think Cousins does the stuff he does in Sacramento because he knows he can get away with it.
I'm saying you're right. You're dead hard, Robert. Don't have that coach.
He knows they suck.
Right.
He knows he's their franchise player, so he's like, I can do what I want to do. Screw rules.
And I think now since they got a little bit of a younger coach now too, it's still gonna be kind of a headache.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a headache on him.
You got to get him out of there. You got to get him
you
out.
Have to.
Well, I think you have to get him out of there. Look, Sacramento actually, you know, they got some of their pieces. Well, I know they got a big decision with Tyreek Evans. Does he want to stay or not? They got a big decision with him. But look at some of their pieces, I guess.
They got talent.
They got the talent there. They just gotta. They're about a few trades away from making a big push there for Cousins. But the thing with Cousins is, he's got to go somewhere where there's a strong personality.
Yeah.
One team I thought is, you know, if if he wants to deal with this in San Antonio, I think Pop would. I don't know if Pop wants to deal with him right now.
I don't think Pop wants it on his plate right now.
I think San Antonio, because I know they need somebody in the middle too. But you know what? But then again, Thiago Splitter is the one.
Right.
I can't deny it.
And you never know how they're going to draft because the Spurs always draft so well. I mean, they pick guys you've never heard of, keep them on the bench, train them up, and then next thing you know.
Well, let me ask you this. There's another team up I-35 in North Texas, Dallas.
I really would love to have him as a player, and I think there's been a lot of people that really want him to be there. I would think that they would have to give it. Yeah, Carlisle could deal with it.
Yeah, Carlisle he dealt with Artest. He could deal. He dealt with Artest
and Steven Jackson. So yeah, he could deal with him. He could definitely deal with him. And I just think that they have the pieces to get. They have the pieces to get him, and they also have the veteran leadership to also help him out too. Because hey, you got Dirt, and then you might still have a veteran here or there that could also teach him the ropes and everything. And hey.
Is that a second place thing to do if you don't land on Dwight Howard? Would that be like
Oh yeah.
He's a cheaper option too, and pretty cheaper option. And also you got yourself another player that can be a very good stat stuffer. And if he can ever get his head on straight, he could possibly be a top 5 center in this game.
I've always said no. I said he could be the.
Yeah, he could be the best.
Roy Hibbert played the way he played. Obviously, if Hibbert's going to take that, yeah, you're right. He could be top 5 on it. If he can get that together. I mean, obviously now with George Karl being fired, I guess he couldn't go to Denver and all. But they already got a head case.
I mean, how you fire a man with cancer, man?
That's the other thing.
That's cold-blooded, man. They like, look, man, we know you're healthy now. You got past that chemo.
Well, he was going to be the lame duck status. I guess they said instead of you just walking the sidelines, and we know we're not going to keep you.
Yeah, I don't know what Denver's doing, man. Because for them to lose the GM who made.
Oh, he went to Toronto.
Yeah, he went to Toronto. Who did leaps and bounds? I mean, when most teams lose an All-Star, you pretty much start from scratch. But what he did, he gutted the Knicks, got what he wanted. Acquired some pieces that a lot of people didn't think were gonna work, and he made something out of nothing.
How ironic is this, Robert? They both trade for each other. They both the Knicks and the Nuggets got the trade for the pieces. Both played. Both made playoff appearances. Of course, the Knicks did get out of the first round. And the Nuggets almost got out of the first round. They did. But right now, after next year, both these teams are going to be depleted of the people who they traded. I mean, right now, like I said, as I told Lamar the other day when we heard about the George Karl trade, there's going to be the spring clinic going on in Denver now. You better believe. Whoever takes that position, there's the spring clinic going on.
Yeah, Iguodala already said he's interested in testing the free agency.
Well,
Yeah.
he has that option, and I'm sure.
Hey, that's a guy right there. I can see him in Miami so fast. Man, I can see him in Miami.
And I think Wade has to go.
You think?
I think Wade would have to go.
You think so? I think Iggy would buy coming off the bench. I think he would take that role. I think Ray Allen would leave. Ray Allen would come back.
Well, I think Ray might be going to
Yeah, Ray's gonna be on ESPN, but he's gonna be on ESPN with a nice suit. The threes ain't falling like they used to. So I could definitely see Iggy. I think Battier is expendable. Ray's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I think Iggy would take a bench role.
Right.
Knowing that he could get a ring. I know he.
Over a place like maybe LA and possibly Dallas. Well, I don't know. What y'all go after for that? Because no, y'all tried it before, didn't you?
I think.
I know, like a place like maybe LA or.
I think he wants a ring bad though. I think right now he's getting in that ring chasing mode of his career. He's got some money. I think he's got one All-Star appearance. Does he have an All-Star appearance or not?
Actually, he does have one All-Star. I think 2012 was his first All-Star appearance.
He's got an All-Star appearance.
Yeah.
I think right now he's in that veteran state. I think he wants a ring before it's all said and done. Because
he's at 30, I think.
Yeah, solid defender.
Yeah.
I mean, every year he gets better at some aspect of his game. So I think he's looking at his market value.
Well, here's the only reason why I say that. You still think he has maybe, good, maybe 2 or 3 years left as a starter before maybe he becomes, that bench player that, Ray Allen and all them become, where they go on the bench and stay there until they retire.
Yeah, I feel you there. I do think I think he wants to be the man, but I don't think he wants necessarily all the touches. Because we saw in Philly when
I just never thought of it like that before. I wouldn't say. I almost would think that, unless you bring him in. Well, if you bring him in now, you most likely are going to stay. You're most likely putting Wade on a time clock thing.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you keep getting hurt, we can't move you along now because we do have your replacement here. Basically, he is a two-word. He's not playing LeBron's small forward position, but
right.
He can play the two well. So that's one of the reasons why I say that. I think certainly coming off the bench, but I think because if you look at him going to Denver this year, I think he did well there. And I think the Nuggets did a lot of what the Nuggets did was because of him being there.
Oh yeah. And he became a great passer this year.
But I never thought about it like that. But I guess you have to see what happens first. Most likely to sign him, you're going to have to get somebody's going to have to go.
Right. And I think, like we mentioned earlier, Bosh has definitely become the most expendable because they've always put him in that wing league category since he's got there. The first finals, last year with the abdomen tear, this year against Indiana where he apologized. Bosh has always been like, you here because we like you, right? It's almost like you're a homeboy, so we gonna look out for you.
That was okay for
Oh yeah, man.
The boys slapped you around.
Yeah, they took his lunch money. They took his lunch money.
Mm-hmm.
So we
They slapped you around.
and you know, Tim Duncan is still playing like like he just left Wake Forest. So
Well, remember KG? Last year KG had that type of season last year where he played like where everybody was like, "Whoa, dude, you still thinking about retiring?"
right. We're about to call Balco or something. What's going on? But
That knee spinning?
yeah, but yeah, you're right about that, man. And KG kind of got it. KG kind of I mean, we saw how he stepped up last year against Miami. So yeah, you're right. KG's gonna be interesting too, because we don't know. Because I think Paul Pierce is pretty much done. I don't think he's coming back as a Celtic.
I think KG is one. An interesting thing I thought of, and of course I got shot down from this, but it might happen. It could happen. I just thought about I don't know, because he hates the owner. Well, he hates Glenn Taylor, the owner. Well, Flip Saunders being back in control now. Remember, Casey and Flip had a great relationship. Flip got fired. KG was pretty ticked off by that. They know 2 seasons, then he left. Everybody that's not there that KG hates anymore, except for Glenn Taylor, the owner. Now, I think, that in itself could be a deal breaker too. But if that could be mended, 1 or 2 seasons left in Minnesota.
I don't write that out entirely, because Minnesota need it bad. First they need to sell tickets, because
Well, the tickets ain't the issue. The tickets ain't the issue.
well not necessarily the tickets thing, but they need a boost of morale. Like it's been depressed because y'all are on the cusp of being in the last 2 years. I picked Minnesota to be the AC,
And I've been wanting y'all too.
and I came up short.
And there's one big thing that happened that I know all teams have it.
Injury. Y'all had it horrible.
We're healthy.
I mean, yeah.
We're healthy. We're a playoff team.
Rubio the year before last, heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Love with the hand, heartbreaking. I mean, the Brandon Roy experiment not working. It just kept getting worse the whole year.
Well, there's 2 things. Well, there's 2 things to that. One, it was the injuries, and 2, getting rid of somebody. You follow me long enough, you know what I'm talking about. Getting rid of David Kahn.
Oh yeah, Con.
That is right there. I mean, obviously, because if you look at Kevin Love right now, the big thing about this, I think he was on Mike and Mike the other day. He was on ESPN, and I think a lot of questions, or a lot of the national media and a lot of these trade rumors that we're getting here over the so-called, last couple of months after that article you released, y'all last year. You got to remember that article was released more because of David Kahn over just being in Minnesota. That was more towards David Kahn. Since Flip Saunders has been there, I mean, Kevin Love has really, responded with a lot of things there. Now, I think, most likely there is a max deal that could be up pretty soon in a couple of years. Most likely, I don't know if Ricky Rubio's going to get it now, like he would have had David Kahn was there. I mean, that was pretty much David Kahn's baby right there with Ricky Rubio. But Rubio should get a nice deal in the next couple of years. I think he works on his jumper. But
Right.
now all of a sudden, Kevin Love he's taking on a new, different approach over the last couple weeks, especially with Spain there. Over the last month, he's taking a whole new, different approach about being in Minnesota. And I think now a lot of these trade rumors, I think his appearance on Mike and Mike should kill it. I think it should kill most of this for now. And I think with that renewed energy from Kevin Love, that renewed energy of him wanting to be there now, him going to work out well this year, I think he's actually talking about sitting in the draft in the war room with Flip Saunders the day of the draft, so he can see who we're drafting and then what direction we're going. And then remember him, he was actually at the lottery drawing that night, at the lottery the day representing the Timberwolves.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think that in itself makes a big thing for us as far as him wanting to,
Give him the keys.
want to be there.
Give him the
So
keys.
right now, Flip will do a trust. Remember, he had another Kevin. He had another Kevin that had all of that. I think that's where that's for right now. And I think more than ever, that and the reason why I said that would help because I think that brings the whole energize, when training camp starts this year, there is no slumping down. Oh man, I gotta see this David Condon. It's coming to work saying, hey, let's go. Let's go. We got what we need here. Let's do this again. Let's stay healthy. Let's do this again. And I'm seeing that out of him now. I just gotta, hopefully, once his knee recovers, he just had knee surgery not long ago. He actually said it's healing quite well. He should be able to start working out within the next week or two. But say by the end of the month or whatever. So that tells me that he's ready to go. I think. So that in itself, that's our only issue, Robert. I mean, outside of those injuries, they're fine. The Dimple are fine without the injury. It's just when your superstars out for more than 60 games, ain't no team in the NBA gonna win it. Ain't no team in the NBA winning any games with that beat.
Nah, at all.
But with the KG thing, I see that option, but I also see they said the Clippers. I don't think he's gonna go to the Clippers unless Chris Paul for sure is gonna stay out there. Right now, I really
And from what it sounds like, yeah,
He does not like.
He's mad at that.
He does not like that coach killer label, because people tried to put it on him in New Orleans when they got rid of Byron Scott, and now they're trying to put it on with Vinny Del Negro, and I think he's sensitive to that because it's a bad label.
Mm-hmm.
Jason Kidd got the label.
Darren Williams has the label now.
Darren Williams had that blood. Jerry Sloan's blood is still on Darren Williams' hands.
Right.
That blood ain't drying.
The White Howard kind of has the
Avery-
label too.
He's trying to get him to come back to Brooklyn. He's trying to
Oh hell no, Jerry ain't coming back. Jerry don't want no parts of that.
No.
I don't know. He could go there, or he might not come back.
I think he's gonna take that. I think he's gonna take that consultant job with Utah. But Dwight Howard has that blood on his hands, so it's a bad label. Even even LeBron. LeBron for a little bit has that label a little bit.
I thought that was unfair and see he went back to rewrite that history.
Right.
Which I thought was stupid to begin with. He should have already been there to begin with.
Right.
That was dumb to do that anyway.
Right.
I thought that was stupid anyway. I thought a lot of that was the media. I thought a lot of that was media generated.
Right.
To me, I just thought that it was. That was stupid. But at least he signed him back, and that's what's best for him. So they obviously have been to the playoffs since he was there. So maybe he gets them back to the right spot. I'm sure the folks in LA right now are looking what?
Yeah.
Are you sure that the Anthony guy looking good?
Right. I mean, this guy got a job real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you guys this question. Here's one thing that I just found on Twitter. If George Karl, if the Lakers would have known coming out of the season that George Karl was going to contend in Denver, do you think that maybe they should have canned D'Antoni and Brian Karl for the Lakers?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd make that move because
I'd do it.
I mean, Kobe respects him. Kobe respects him.
Kobe respects the hell out of him.
And heck, I might even do it now.
I think Dwight. I think Dwight would stop being Dwight, and Carl has the tenure.
Mm-hmm.
He has the emotional story with the cancer thing. The man's just a living legend right now. Him and Pop right now are the OGs of NBA as far as coaching.
Right.
I mean, you gotta respect the legacy. So I think, that would have been a good fit. And the guy knows how to work a bench.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw what he did with Seattle and Denver, Milwaukee. He knows how to work a bench. So I think that would have been. I think LA. D'Antoni got a 2-year deal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now, Kupchak probably he's probably thinking some stuff out right now.
It's really out of Kupchak's hands, Victor Rich. It's Jim Bust right now.
Right.
He's on this big ego thing. He doesn't want to be wrong, man. Right now, So to justify him not being wrong, he's what words or anything they had against each other. They styles don't like each other. I don't know. If he doesn't want to pick the sister, I don't know how that happened. They got issues.
Now, how do you feel about Brian Shaw? Now, Brian Shaw is one of those guys where I'm kind of on the fence with Brian Shaw.
If you don't get a coaching job now, and I mean, how many positions? What's their?
I think we got 5 still open. 5 still open. Brooklyn, Denver, Detroit,
Denver, Memphis,
Clippers, and the Sixers.
The Clippers and the Sixers, right? The Pistons, they got more cheeks there.
They leaning on Mo Cheeks.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I think the Pistons are trying to get McMillan.
I think Philly would be a good look for Brian just because it's a young team really, and
I don't.
they kind of getting in rebuilding mode.
No, they're definitely the rebuild.
Oh man, Bynum gave it, boy. Bynum, that boy Bynum, boy, he need to be a used car salesman, man. Bynum need to sell Kias or something, man, cause he
Whoever came up with that deal last year, what they look like is stink.
he like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Boy, the people got wrong there. Orlando is making better. Orlando's making out better than them.
Oh, yeah.
They made out better than them.
Oh yeah, they at least got to follow.
Really got the bad. Well, they really got the bad hands. That.
Ooh boy.
I mean, the Lakers most likely. Well, Lakers took a gamble. They did so. Even if the White doesn't come back, they took a gamble.
Yeah, they definitely.
The other two teams, like I said, that's the trade David Stern should have vetoed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he should have went ahead and threw Philly that ball and gave them the number 1 pick. Like, hey, I owe y'all this one, you know. Hey, go ahead. Yeah, it's on the house. Oh yeah. Then came New Orleans. Oh yeah.
If I'm Brian Shaw, I'd say go to Brooklyn.
I said it clearly get this over. I'm launching my complaint to Congress. I'm still working on that, by the way.
I think Brian Shaw. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about Brian because my whole thing is he has he was behind Phil for all those years, but for that many teams to pass on him, man. I mean, look at the guys that are jumping. Vinny Del Negro.
Look at Mark Jackson. Look at Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel. Where did he come from?
Vinny Del Negro jumped over him though.
Yeah.
That's what tripped me out. Vinny Del Negro got two primetime coaching gigs over Brian. Like Phil Jackson co-signed him, but that's not good enough. Phil like, hey, look, he's real. You know, give him a chance.
I thought Orlando should. They got Jacques Vaughn, and I said Shaw, and I said, remember Shaw played for Orlando. So
Yeah.
And a great thing. I remember that. That was my favorite team.
Right. Yeah. Nick Anderson, D3. Yeah. So
my favorite team back then. So that should probably surprise me there. But he should get a coaching job.
yeah, he deserves it now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely deserves a chance now. I mean, Jeff Hornacek is a coach. He's coaching the Suns. So
I didn't see that. I didn't know he was coaching.
I didn't know neither. They said Jeff.
I didn't know he was coaching.
Like really?
Yeah, that made me feel old as hell.
Like we're in Stockton Malone now. Shoot.
But I'm really. It's funny we're talking about the next season already. We know we only in game 2 of the finals, but a lot of moves are being made right now, and it's looking like a good season after David Stern. Do you think how you gonna remember David Stern?
Well, obviously, he's the only commissioner I've been for. He's actually, he took over shortly after I was born, so obviously he's all I know. He's all we all know.
Right.
We'll know him as, obviously, the positive is that he obviously expands the league. I mean, globalization is as far as overseeing the sport.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
Spain.
Took it to the USG. Spain did too. So all these teams, that are, all these melting pots. Remember now, a lot of these guys wouldn't be here. The NBA never globalized. So I think that's what the NFL is doing. You see why Goodell is trying to force feed the NFL to other people, which may or may not work. Well,
Never have. It'll never work.
I don't think it will, but
He tried.
Louisiana loan. I think, of course, a lot of people are going to know him for, he didn't handle the Donaghy thing. He didn't handle that thing well, and a lot of people are going to always know him as, the guy, the commissioner who picks up the game.
Veto.
He has two lockouts under his watch, which, I think that might hurt him a little bit. He knows it hurt him. I think he knew that before. He knew that before it hurt him. But he's had that under his watch.
But he got Showtime in the Jordan era, so.
Well, he got Showtime, Jordan era. He had
Bird.
the Shaq and Kobe
Yeah.
time. He's got the Spurs. Well, I don't know how ironic that the Spurs is win a championship on his last year, and a team that some say that he really kind of clenches his teeth every time he has to give a trophy. It defines what he truly wants, as far as the big market team. But how ironic that would be that, if the Spurs pull it off, he has to give them the trophy. The last time he has to do that, it kind of be a little choke thing. But the game isn't as popular as when he took it over. Remember, it was on tape to play, and that's a TV contract to wear. Although the game is, the game hit us. The game was top in the '90s. It kind of fell off now. Football dominating now. It's dominating the country. I look like Adam Silver's gonna have a lot of the games. I think I think a lot of the first questions that Adam Silver would have coming in next year is, the NBA's never had parity, but do we go to parity, or are we going to keep staying, 7 or 8 teams winning championships? Because if that's the case, then you might want to start contracting some teams and just keep it to just those teams that you want there. Because sooner or later there's teams that want to win championships outside itself. But I think outside of just your original LA, New York, well, New York again, one of them that's going wrong. LA, your Chicago, your Miami's, and all these teams. But another thing is, I think Stern will be knowing that 7 or 8 teams are operating at a negative or in the red as far as operating expenses or operating revenues are in the red or whatnot.
Yeah, I think so.
You got that issue there too. That
Contract.
a lot of these teams
Contract.
aren't doing so well. So contraction might be a big issue going into that. But then again, it might not be, because now Seattle's thirsting for a team, and somebody has to leave. Somebody has to go up there. Right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's locked up right now.
Charlotte.
And Milwaukee's trying to get them into the arena. If they get that, then you're locked. You're like the NFL with LA.
Who wants to come on down to the Seattle sweepstakes?
What do you do? Because you can't force the team to leave their place and say that they like to be there. That halfway there. You can't.
Right.
Yeah, if I'm Mike though, I'm looking at that. I don't see how Mike's not licking his chops thinking about getting the hell out of Charlotte.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, no, you remember they did so much to get him. Well, they're getting ready to go into the Hornets, which we'll see.
We'll see how that goes.
They play like the old Hornets, and maybe they'll be there.
Man, Grandmama ain't walking through that door.
Oh, Zoe ain't walking to that door either.
Glenn Rice ain't walking through that door. You got. Yeah, you slap the Hornets on there. They don't mean they gonna start playing like. He trying to use Jedi mind tricks.
Well, these are the Bobcats right now. The Bobcats.
I bet Kimber Walker like, man, I gotta get the hell out of here. Like, I gotta get out. I'm 20.
I think it's what they DJ August was glad to say. Wait a minute, I'm still playing. What's the
Oh, man.
I ain't never played it long. I ain't never played it late this season. Oh man. So as far as the legacy goes, I mean, I think there's gonna be I think there's gonna be more hiccups than there will be praises, but the praises are you have behind the phrases to say, hey, the game is where it is because of that. But,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely going to be a guy that when you think of commissioners, he's one of the first names you think of because the NFL, we're in the Goodell era, and nobody likes no casual fan likes Goodell.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Tagliabue was kind of a guy you only really saw during the Super Bowl.
Right.
he's behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He was just getting money. That's right. He was the money. Yeah.
Yeah. Bud Selig always screwing up. Every time I see Bud Selig, he's sweating, looking nervous. Like, damn.
Chill out.
Oh man, when he called the towel in the All-Star game, that pretty much just I threw the towel in with that.
And do not get us started on Gary Bettman.
Oh,
do
man.
not get us started on Gary Bettman. People in Canada still hate him to this day. They actually boo him they boo him when he presents out the Stanley Cup. I mean, come on now.
Well, you know what? From what happened to me, they might be winning a little bit now. I mean, especially in this postseason, a lot of people are really, looking into this. I mean, he got the Final Four that he wanted out of, the last four champions in the conference finals. I mean, not something the NBA's ever done before. So, for as far as the lockouts that happened with the NFL, obviously the NFL cleaned theirs up before the season started, but with the NBA, NFL, and hockey, his probably would be the one that probably wins coming off the lockout. Is the biggest winner because obviously with the NBA coming out of the lockout, it was kind of like we're still pretty ticked off. Although I think a lot of people may prefer the shorter season.
Oh yeah.
Pretty ticked off because of that. And
Yeah.
But I think hockey, they came out. I think a lot of people thought it was disastrous, and so far their postseason has really made up for that lockout. Now, moving forward, can they not have any more lockouts? Jesus. So they already lost the season because of that. And I think that's Betty's biggest issue. You take the full season because of a lockout. Yeah, not good. And the Canadians hate you, but and then Goodell, Roger Goodell is just the only thing Goodell will be really known for is poking the Players Association into the very flawed CBA that he got.
Let's see, we got some other news here too that's going along in the sports world, and I think we were talking about a little bit about keeping it in basketball here. We were talking a little bit about the Bucks. It turns out the Bucks offered Monte Ellis a $36 million 3-year deal, and he basically turned it down. And now it looks like he's going to become a free agent in July the 1st. Blessing in disguise for the Bucks.
You
or
damn
what?
right, it's a blessing in disguise. You throwing money, man. God. Monte Ellis. Let me tell you about Monte Ellis. Anybody that's dumb enough to go riding on a scooter through Mississippi get hurt. You gonna put $37 million in a guy? Yeah.
Y'all forgot about that too.
I'm not investing. Nah, can't do it.
Hey, this could be crazy though if you're the Bucks, and I think we were talking about this a little bit earlier before the show too. Like they kind of got to rebuild a little bit, and into the fact too that they actually could get rid of these two chuckers of Brandon Jennings and Monte Ellis, save themselves some money and start anew.
Well, here's the issue here. Senator Robert Cole wants to sell that. Herb Cole, wants to sell that team pretty soon. He wants to get rid of that team soon because they're not making any money then. Right now, getting rid of Ellis and getting rid of Jennings together means that you're gonna have that guy in Seattle. He's smells blood needs to be coming making offers about moving that team up out of there. And I think, you know, if you really love the Milwaukee Bucks, folks in Milwaukee, yeah, I don't know if they really want to get rid of it. Now, I think they're supposed to be proposing to the stadium soon or whatever to, you know, the folks there to try to vote on do they want him or not. So we'll find that out as well.
Yeah.
But Jennings is, well, I definitely don't see Milwaukee giving Jennings the max. And I think,
No.
you know,
No.
I know he's a restricted free agent, so most likely some team is going to. Some teams know they're going to try to get him out of there by either giving him. That's kind of how Indiana got forced into giving Roy Hibbert the max before and say, oh, we'll max him. Indiana said,
That poison pill, huh? Yeah.
no, come on, back, we got you.
Now, what do you think? What do you think Brandon's gonna wind up? I mean, if I'm the Clippers and if Chris Paul says, you know what, screw this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Clippers throw some money at him? If Chris Paul leaves?
It's funny you say Clippers is throwing money in. we all have to sit here and act like Donald Sterling still doesn't own that team.
Hey, he getting a little bit better though. He
Slowly but surely.
he getting a little better.
Slowly but surely.
But no, Robert, that actually was that area. Either the Clippers or the Lakers could go in a bidding war with him. Because I mean, right now, you look at Steve Nash, and this might be his last thing. He might have to do what Brett Hill in a bid. Go ahead and just call it quits there. But no, in all realness, I can see that. I don't think Indiana will be able to really sign.
No.
I don't think Indiana will have the money to go after him.
I don't think Larry Bird will tolerate that.
Mm-mm.
Another team I can think of is wow.
I'm keeping them far away from Dallas as possible.
Let's go to Phoenix, Dallas.
Ooh, that would. Dallas needs. They need the scoring in the youth.
I know they need the scoring and the youth, but the problem is though.
Here's another place I think he can go to, which actually, you know what? This wouldn't be a bad idea if this person does this. That's Atlanta. If they can't get CP3. So it's a two-way thing there, Robert. If CP3 does leave the Clippers, if he goes, Clippers is one, or if Atlanta doesn't land CP3, then maybe he goes to Atlanta.
I can see him in Atlanta. Yeah.
Atlanta would be a nice spot for him.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because Jeff Teague's a serviceable guy.
Mm-hmm.
But Brandon Jennings is kind of he's on the cusp of being an all-star.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I've seen him in action a few times. He could, ironically, in Atlanta, so he could go there. He can go there, and it's fine. I think if Danny Ferry doesn't want to throw all the money out towards CP3, that Brandon Jennings would be the guy. But you got to throw a boatload of money at him from Milwaukee to say, all right, dude,
Yeah. And then you got to keep Josh Smith too. You think he's going? Now what do you? Now Josh, I'm interested to see where Josh might wind up because if Miami were to deal Bosh to clear some space, maybe you could.
No, that's not gonna work because him and LeBron would
play the same. Yeah.
That's all Josh Smith. Because Josh Smith's not playing a power forward.
Josh Smith like hell no.
That's why Al Horford's there. Now that's why Al Horford's there. No, that's why Al Horford's in Atlanta.
Yeah.
What about man? I know he has a great relationship with Rondo. I know him. I've heard him and Rondo have they're pretty close.
And it almost happened in Boston.
Actually, I think so. You're right. I think Boston did they offer KG and Pierce for him? If I'm correct.
Yeah, because
It's one of the trade rumors I heard. I know that.
Yeah, I think it was like I think it was a 3-team deal, which they would have given Josh, I think Josh would have went to Boston. Pierce would have went to Dallas, and I think we would have given up Dante Jones and some other few pieces and all that stuff to help them out. I think in a first round draft pick or something like that, if my memory still serves me correctly, that could work. Another place is maybe wherever Dwight goes, Josh goes.
LA?
Houston?
Well, Houston would it would have to be LA because Houston is no good.
Yeah.
Parsons is there. He's a three. Obviously, he's coming into his own. So that's
Yeah. If he goes to LA, man, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, from to go to LA, they would have to tell Meta World Peace.
yeah. Amnesty.
Bye.
I think Nash might lean toward retirement.
Powell has to go.
Powell's gone. I don't know where the hell Gasol going, but he not being a Laker next year.
I think that.
It's been real. But
thank you for the 2 rings.
They have to decide who the amnesty, the power is Meta.
I think you amnesty.
No one wants to be. Well, you might be able to trade Meta World Peace. You might be able to do that. I don't know.
You think Meta? You think Meta's more tradable than Gasol?
Apparently so. Not Gasol would say so.
During the Paul trade, he was on the block. He was basically gone until David Stern, came in and played Vince McMahon. But I think Gasol got I think somebody will take him. Somebody.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones that everyone was using is Kevin Love for Gasol. Well, it had something to do with Kevin Love. That's out. I'm not saying this from a Timberwolves fan, but that's out.
Now, hey, you guys got a plethora of point guards. Lakers need a point guard.
Well, Flip already said, we got 5 point guards. Flip's already said somebody's gonna go.
So I can see, maybe Gasol for Borea and Karlinko? I don't know.
Gasol's contract is his contract. Well, Karlinko has an option but it's a player option. David Conn gave him a player option.
Oh, hell.
Now, obviously, it's gonna. We already. That's why I not watching the Minnesota no more. He gave a player option for $10 million, so we already know how that went. So we're praying that he does a good thing and not accept that offer and not enact that call. So then that gives the Timberwolves some extra money to go find a couple of other free agencies, whatever. But who the hell's gonna turn $10 million now? You see why David Kahn's no longer around. He gave him a player option, so yeah. So obviously, Curling has a player option to come back, and obviously for $10 million, most certainly probably will come back, unless somehow he goes over to Russia and gets injured, then maybe he doesn't. But as far as our point guards go, we're gonna have to trade one of them. I'm thinking that we might. We're talking about possibly moving up in the draft, but
you guys get Victor, and some stuff about to be on the pop in Minnesota.
Oh shit, now I think Flip's trying to. He's trying. I'm saying he did. Remember, he was coaching Washington and he was coaching Detroit. And those 2 teams are ahead of us in the draft.
I can see Washington taking them, but at the same time,
Washington don't need them because they already got Wall there. They got Wall and Beal. They have Wall and Beal, so they wouldn't need them.
Yeah.
I forgot about that other guy. But Detroit, Detroit got Brandon Knight and shit, that's not saying much. But
crossovers and dunks on everybody.
He's still around. Well, they could get him, or another team that could get him is probably New Orleans.
Oh man.
They can get Burger. They can get Openadale or no, who got the fourth pick? Who does pick after Washington?
Cleveland. Wait, Cleveland got the number one pick. My bad, sorry.
Is Cleveland on
Charlotte.
Charlotte. You know, that's another thing. There's a big thing that I saw on the Bleacher Report 2 weeks ago about the trade deal, and it's one that the Timberwolves will take their spot. And in that trade, they'll trade for Derek Williams. One of the other point guards wanted to get rid of, I think, JJ Barea for that pick. And then we picked over Openadale and go from there. Another thing that I said was Minnesota should look into it. I said maybe if you could get you couldn't trade. Cause I don't think Orlando's going to trade out of their pick. But I said another thing is if you know you can't get the trade with the other teams like Washington and Charlotte and New Orleans and all the rest of those teams there was to trade for Aaron Aflalo. I said go give Derek Williams for Aaron Aflalo. Kind of got a mixed review on that one. I always thought that if you brought in Aaron Aflalo, that would help you. He's great on defense. He's pretty good on defense. Pretty good shooter. He played on the flip, so he kind of knows the type of person he is. I won't know too much about him, but I thought maybe that would be a good pickup because obviously they're going after Ben McElmore. So bringing in McElmore would most likely mean that they're going to get rid of him soon because they both play the same position, and obviously, if you're drafting a younger guy, the veteran is going to kind of be out the door soon. So I thought maybe that would be one thing to go after. One of the other things that Minnesota's looking at is, of course, free agency was before drafted because we would know the answer to this, but it's either getting Kevin Martin from OKC, who can walk away from OKC, or going down to Dallas and taking back OJ Mayo. He can come back home since he did draft him back in the way.
Yeah.
And sign him back as well. So
Yeah, because Martin's.
Some options that we're looking at as well.
Yeah, Martin's probably not coming back. Because, you got.
I don't think he just didn't fit. He ain't fit there.
I think he fit, but he didn't come through in crunch time. Like he had a solid regular season. He was a 6-man contender, but when the playoffs came, yeah, he kind of shrank. But Jeremy Lamb and Perry Jones, I think they about to get some burn. So we're gonna see.
I wish we could get Jeremy Lamb, man, and that's another reason why. Well, we got screwed out of that pick 2 years ago with the Marco Yarwood thing in 2005. Now that's the only time I want to ring Kevin McHale back. Because Jeremy Lamb would have been a perfect guy for us to have right now.
Yeah, I would have.
Jeremy Lamb right now, that position is set. Man, that position is set.
Y'all would have actually gave him minutes.
Yes.
Unlike us. We sent him.
He would have started. He probably would have started by now.
We
Whoever we need a shooting guard. Whoever gets signed for the Timberwolves, they will be the starter. They're gonna get burned.
Yeah, we sent him to the NBDL to go, drop 30 and 40 on teams. He come back to the league and he back on the bench.
I wonder what's gonna happen to Shved.
Shaved is probably going to be a backup point guard. He's definitely going to be. He's going to be part of the bench. Some say maybe they could put him there, but right now for an immediate need, I think for an immediate need, we need a number two, a guy who's
Yeah,
number
definitely.
two. Then, if you grew him over a year or two, fine. You can bring him in and put him there. Shaved is definitely he can come off the bench and play that. He can come off the bench as well, play behind Ricky Rubio. Obviously, that gives with Shaved. Well, obviously we already have that point guard anyway, but with Shaved there, that gives the backup at that position. That gives a backup at that number two position anyway. So therefore, we just need somebody who is a shooting guard. Who is that? That is who they are. Not Luke Rittenhauer, because he's not a shooting guard. He's a point guard. He's a stay point guard. Not put him at shooting guard. So I'm tired of everybody blowing past him and going up for a layup in the dunk, and here he is just grabbing him and following him because he's getting burned. So, and they also shooting for that position, for the purposes of that name, shooting guard. Someone who can be able to shoot
Right.
the ball from far to the basket. They need that. So that's why I think they have to have that. Shaved would obviously be that backup to that position. Shaved could be the backup there and the backup to the Ricky Rubio as well. It depends on how you want to play that. But no, I don't know. Shaved, I like Shaved. I think he does have to become a consistent shooter, but I do like Shaved, and he here could be in that spot. It could be him and Rubio back there at some point. But yeah, we just need shooting guard, and everything else is pretty much ready to go.
By the way,
And bring back Nikola Pekovic.
By the way, let's give props here to the Boston Bruins for making it to the Stanley Cup Finals as they swept the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Yeah. They're back. Boston, I think, I have a weird feeling they're going to win this Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I agree too.
I
Yeah,
think they're going to beat Chicago. It would be weird if Chicago was back-to-back after with the Blackhawks for so many years without winning, and they go and mess around and go back-to-back championship.
I kind of just want to see maybe the Kings do it just for that Twitter account, something like that. I don't know. I just kind of want to see it. But dang, hockey fans are some of the most passionate ones. Also, let me see. Looking at some more here as we get ready to close this whole thing down. The Baltimore Ravens got their new rings.
Yeah, they look nice.
Yeah, they iced out. But I always like Rasheed Wallace. Remember the belts?
Yeah.
I like the belt idea. I mean, it's not something you'll never replace the rings. But it was pretty. Now I remember when you guys won Mark Cuban was talking about something cutting edge and something new. He gave them damn rings. I mean, what was up with that?
I'm trying to think. What did he want to do? I'm trying to think. Somebody actually wanted to try to do belts or something like that. Dang.
Walk in with the varsity jacket.
Man, you got somebody like Jason Kidd that played all the years. I don't think he wore no damn jacket. Like, nigga, jacket.
I can't give him a ring, man.
But speaking of Kidd and Hill, Clarence, you you're a little bit older than us. How would you cement their legacies, especially Grant Hill, due to the injuries and all that? Because I vaguely remember Grant Hill. I remember more so the advertising, like the Sprite commercials and Fila.
Yeah.
But I really.
Grant was Grant always had biggest issue with both guys. Well, Grant mid-range jumper was off the chain. Grant was about 14 on it. He'll kill you. He did a little crossover, he'll stop and pop, all that. He wasn't shooting no three-pointers in your face. That was one thing. He wasn't going to three you to death early on in his career there with the Detroit. But yeah, Grant. And then as far as dunkers, boy, yeah, Grant had some dunks. Well, I remember, me being young and watching some of those. Jason Kidd, yes, the stories was true. That man could not shoot the ball worth nothing. He is what Ricky Rubio is right now. He was not a great shooter. That's why I always tell Timberwolves fans, I don't mean to go off subject, but I always tell Timberwolves fans Ricky Rubio would be good because of that, because Jason Kidd was like that. But he was like that, and he got better over the years. I think he got better when he went to Phoenix. Well, when he went to Phoenix, he started getting better. And obviously, when he went to New Jersey, that's when, he took his game to another level.
Yeah.
Dallas, obviously, going back to Dallas, I think one of the greatest things is that, of course, he was able to win a championship with the team he did serve with. Although, the organization changed, changed uniforms, changed arenas, and all that good stuff, he did still win a championship with that organization. Grant Hill, he had two careers in one. I think, we all know the first career, obviously, is the 90s. That's the one where we knew, hey, he put deal, and then he started getting hurt. Then you still gotta remember when he came back off his injury, he actually played the last 8 or 9 years. He played solid. Remember, I don't think he's been that much. He hasn't been injured that much. He played solid, but he just, he's never gonna be that same person again. He never was, but he played solid enough. I think one of the discussions we had in that sports forum I was in is that who's going to the Hall of Fame first? And I think most of us said Jason Kidd most certainly will be there. Does Grant Hill get in? If he does, I think off sympathy he may get in, but if he does get in, it's going to be a while.
If he gets in, it's going to be off the strength more so of his college career. Because like I tell people, it's the basketball Hall of Fame and not the NBA Hall of Fame. So those Duke years, that's going to help the help the discussion. And then he's got a gold medal. He's got 17,000 points.
Right.
All-star appearances. I think some first team selections. So he's got the credentials. I believe he'll get in eventually. Not necessarily.
I would say he probably won't be first ballot.
No. But he'll get in eventually. I think, to me, I mean, granted I didn't see much of Clyde Drexler's career, but I think if Clyde in, Grant Hill could slide in there.
Clyde clinched his. For one, obviously everybody who played on the original Dream Team was going to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So he got some of their rub.
Right.
Christian Laettner did on the one who's not. We all know he had a great college career before.
Yeah.
We know he.
Remember he played with the Heat once.
Right.
Hey, I think he got a ring.
I think he got a ring too.
I think he was on that 06 team.
Yeah.
Was he?
I think he was.
Yeah,
on
he was
on that 06 team.
He was because
I think he came out the bench.
Yeah, because I think it was like the stat line they said that the 06 Heat were the first team to win a ring or to have like the top 3 players of any draft classes. Because you had Shaq, Zoe, and Laettner, I think.
Remember, there was that last position came out 2 people, him and Shaq, and they picked Laettner over Shaq.
Yeah.
Think about how they picked Shaq. Then the big discussions we had over the summer about which dream team could we could kill them.
That 96 team. That 96 team doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah, they were pretty good too.
You know what? I think that was a pretty good team too.
Yeah.
You know what? Looking at that team, I think we had a few carryovers. I think you had Jordan Miller, Malone,
Barkley.
You had a couple of carryovers.
Yeah, but then you had
who wasn't carried over? I think you had Peyton. Peyton's going. You had Peyton. I think you had Kemp. What you had one there?
You had Hakeem on there, I think. Hakeem was on that.
96?
96, yeah.
Yeah, you had Shaq, Grant Hill. I think wasn't Pippen on that team too?
Yeah.
So looking at that second team, you got maybe 10 of the 12 on there that are
right.
Hall of Fame.
Now,
that team don't get a lot of love here, but that team was pretty good.
Now, getting to Kidd, me and Lamar I think it's a travesty personally that Kidd never got an MVP during those New Jersey seasons.
Yeah.
It's especially the first year he took him against LA. I think he definitely deserved one. Cause
that was one. Who won that year?
I think Duncan.
Duncan, yeah.
That's right. Duncan won both years.
Yeah.
Duncan, I said people did go back to back. Actually, there was controversy in the second one. I remember there was high controversy on the second one. I remember a lot of people said he shouldn't have won it. And then of course they went to the finals and beat him, and then everybody kind of fired down a little bit on that. But okay, obviously he beat you on the biggest stage. Okay,
right.
Anybody's MVP. But no, Robert, you're right. I think, because I mean, look, Iverson got top billing. Remember, Shaq was pretty dominant at the end of that season. Hit Shaq in, and I think Duncan came back from that knee injury the following year.
Right, and that was the year Shaq was.
Yeah,
That's one of his prime seasons.
And Shaq was in it. Well, I remember Shaq was the end of that season. Remember, that's when they went to the playoffs and Shaq was there.
And they killed everybody.
That's correct.
Steamroll.
So I think that was the one year they gave it over to Iverson because I think they looked at what Iverson did with that
Right.
Philadelphia team. Yes, you guys were talking about earlier. You're right. That Cleveland team, that Philadelphia team was at no right. Well, the Philly team did because they were the number one team to get that year. That's why I think that team.
And they beat some pretty good teams to get there.
Right.
They can't. Well, yeah, Milwaukee team.
Yeah, and Vince, I remember Iverson and Vince. Oh my God, they were going back and
Very
forth.
good 7-game series.
They went two. They were back to that game, 7 games. I think that's killed them. I think that they ran out of gas. I just think Philly ran out of gas.
Yeah.
They ran out of gas.
And here's the thing that really makes me mad. Nash got 2 MVPs, never made it to the finals with those teams. Kid took those teams to the finals twice,
Right.
never got one.
What's the common enemy out of those two teams? With the exception of the first year with New Jersey going to the final. What's the common enemy out of the whole team? He's playing. They're playing in the finals right now.
Yeah.
They just could not be. They could not be saying.
Hey man, Phoenix got robbed. Robert Orr is the smartest.
Man.
Robert Orr.
That's the 1 year they had. That is the 1 year Duncan hit the 3-pointer in game 1. I think.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the first year they had Shaq.
Series that they ever
2
would have had any chance of beating them in, and they didn't do it.
2000. You can pretty much say the Suns 2005 Spurs were a little bit better. 2006 the Mavs were a little bit better. 2007 the Suns should have made it at least to the finals. They should have made it to the finals because if they beat the Spurs that year, they have to play against the Jazz. And I got a good feeling they beat the Jazz and they face against LeBron and pretty much Steve Nash gets his ring.
They would have swept the Cavaliers.
Yeah, basically.
That was it. 2008. I think that's when Shaq went there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Duncan hit that 3. Oh my God.
Nightmare still.
And they beat him. And after that, I think at that point, Popovich just owned D'Antoni. I think they finally got him in 09 or whatever that was. Sweet. They finally got him.
Yeah. I think yeah. That was the year.
But Phoenix wasn't going nowhere either.
Nah. I think that was the year they played the Lakers in the conference finals.
yeah.
And the Lakers won.
Well, you know what? Arteta saved him for that with that lucky
Oh, yeah.
comeback at the end. Arteta, remember that? Well, that's the year Grant Hill. Now that's one of the reasons why I think Grant Hill has to tell the season. Remember, Grant Hill played very well.
Oh yeah, very well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He played very well in that playoff series.
Yeah.
He played very well.
Yeah, Grant had a lot of great games, a lot of good years in Phoenix. A lot of good years.
That train step.
Yeah, that help man, that staff man.
Boy, Greg Oden. It might be here down there.
I bet T-Mac was like, damn, I should have went to Phoenix. Yeah.
I know T-Mac really looks like, man, why could not? I know we get a ring, man. Why could not just, but the thing with T-Mac, man, I look at that and say, man,
That's-
him and Grant Hill they will forever be linked as
T-Mac will forever be the first Carmelo to me. He was a good guy, good player, dynamic scorer, but he just couldn't close the deal.
Right.
No, the game came too easy.
That too. I think he got lazy sometimes.
The game came easy. He got bored.
Yeah.
He never. And then I think I always said that if McGrady was just if McGrady is Vince Carter. Had they really just had they had that Kobe killer instinct, oh my goodness, they'll kill Kobe Bryant out there. I always said McGrady would kill Kobe
I
Bryant.
think.
He would have killed. Remember, Kobe always said he never had a rivalry.
Yes.
Definitely was Kobe's rivalry. He definitely would have been able to look at Kobe and say, let's go.
I think Vince had it. Vince had it in spurts.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember that series with Iverson, Vince would put up some numbers.
Yeah.
Vince,
I know what, that was his best year.
I think he had one 50-point game in Canada.
Yeah, remember then Iverson turned around and had one.
Yeah.
That was a good series. That was actually a good series.
And
Remember he had-
Vince caught a lot of flack because he went to his graduation, Game 7. And everybody was like, yeah, you shouldn't do that.
I don't know. I think if he had to do it over again, he wouldn't win.
Yeah, I don't think he would have won
Yeah.
either because it came down to one shot. And I think, and then those New Jersey years.
Remember, he's back to hard shot. He caught the ball, he back hard, he damn near made it.
Yeah.
Like he damn near made it.
Yeah, he damn near made it. Yeah, he rimmed out. And those New Jersey years, he had some good. I think. Now, you think Vince could get in the Hall of Fame? I doubt it, but do you think you can make an argument for him? Gold medal, All-Star.
Depends on what are the criteria, because if you put him in for, you could honestly say Vince Carter may have saved the dunk contest as we currently know.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Had he not did what he did in Oakland that year.
Yeah, it probably would have died out. Cause that will. Oh my God.
But remember, it died out, and then they brought it back. And remember, they had the NBA 2 balls, and then they had the lockdown. And they brought it back. And then if you think about what he did in the Olympics, you have to look at his numbers. Boy, I don't know.
It's tricky because I mean, you when you think about the Raptors, that franchise, whenever they start hanging jerseys,
Mm-hmm.
They have to hit his for
he's going up regardless.
Yeah, it has to.
He was the face of that franchise. I mean, I think Marcus Camby was the first big draft pick,
Yeah.
but that kind of fizzled out. But Vince was their first real superstar.
Right.
So,
I think I could just and just to even piggyback on what you were saying, I think I remember from a Mavs Raptors game they had earlier this year where it was actually a polled question. Would you accept Vince Carter back as part of the Raptors? And I think a lot of people said yes, they were willing.
Yeah.
They
I
were
mean,
willing. They're
they-
willing to do that.
They ended on bad terms.
Yeah.
Of course.
He had no help, man. Like when people say no help, Vince had no damn help.
No,
I
he-
think I think Vince had Charles Oakley and
And even if T-Mac had stayed.
He had a good team there that one year.
yeah, some guy. But after that, I think towards the end of his run, he had no help.
And that's why he stopped.
And he was
trying.
like, I got to get the hell out of here.
Screw it.
Now, going to New Jersey,
he got.
You know what? I'll tell you this. He was on New Jersey, maybe one of those playoff series when they played San Antonio. He might have been a little different.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If he was on that team when they played San Antonio, I think they would have got.
I might have one less ring in the chain. I might almost say because they were his good boy. Richard Jefferson, I mean, he wasn't really doing much.
Nah.
For him to be in the place of Richard Jefferson,
Yeah.
Pop might be wearing one less ring.
Yeah, I think so because Vince will give you when Vince wants to play, he'll play.
Yeah.
Vince played when he wanted to.
Definitely.
That's the thing I didn't like about Vince because
That's the only thing is consistency. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw him quit towards the end. I know he got a bad rap for being a quitter in Toronto
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of his run. And in New Jersey, he had some good. I think he had one of his best dunks against Zoe in New Jersey. He took Zoe's soul.
Yeah.
You know.
He did that. It's just, with him, he just, like I said, had they put more into like Tracy McGrady, I think a lot of his injuries came because he didn't train.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They say during the off season he would
would
go on vacations.
Mm-hmm.
Had he had that killer instinct like Kobe Bryant would, but I don't know.
It would have been scary.
I don't know if Kobe is a real player that everybody thinks he is. I'm sorry, I don't think so. I think McGrady was better than Kobe. I think he was.
I think McGrady was a better scorer. Yeah, I think he was definitely a better scorer.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but I'm saying if you, between him and Vince Carter, McGrady played defense. Vince, that's what killed Vince.
Yeah, Vince didn't play defense.
George said that. George said Vince didn't put it on defense. Offensively, he got you, but defensively, he didn't lock you down. Tracy would lock you down if he had to.
Yeah.
Tracy would lock you down if he had to.
Yeah.
You know, if he had to lock you down, he would. I think I look at Tracy McGrady. I wouldn't necessarily say like LeBron as far as body size, as far as taking over the paint, but I think he would be similar as far as scoring.
Yeah, he was a hybrid. He was definitely different because I think he played the 2, right?
Yeah.
He played the 2, but he could have played the 3. He was
Right.
what, 6'7", 6'8"?
6'7", 6'8", yeah.
That's why I matched him with Kobe up, because he was 6'8" with Kobe, and they both played the same position.
Right.
That's why I said those two. Remember, Kobe always said he never had a run. And McGrady really took.
Yeah, McGrady took it seriously. Yeah, because in Houston, during that first year in Houston, when they played y'all in the playoffs,
Yeah.
it looked like McGrady was gonna. It looked like we was gonna see that every year. Like McGrady was gonna take them to the playoffs, and
Yeah.
they make some noise. And it didn't happen.
Turns out
And Houston got better that year when he got hurt, and they went on that streak, and
Right.
they almost put the Lakers up. It's
That
like
was with Adam. And
That-
you know what? Had he been there, I think he would have got him.
yeah, and it's tough, man. But I mean he's gonna go down that same category as Glenn Rice and Mitch Richmond and a couple other guys who had some solid years, but they just fell off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think Mitch had some good years in Sacramento, but the only problem was that was before
The Maloofs.
the Malus took over. The Suns took over with Adam and team. Before the Suns took over, Gavin and Winston's face took over, and that was before they became the Kings that you knew they were in the late '90s and early 2000s. So I think Mitch had some pretty good, and then of course he has this year to go to State as well. So.
Yeah, man.
As far as Glenn Rice went, I think, he had the years in Miami or whatever, and then he went to Charlotte for a couple of years. He became an All-Star that one year.
Yeah, won the All-Star MVP, then just got fat.
But yeah, he was. He just,
Stackhouse, another guy. People thought Stack was gonna be that next guy. Stack had a good run, but he
But dang it,
became
man.
a hell of a reserve.
they was fine until they brought in Allen Iverson.
I think the NBA is finally over that though. I think after Jordan, they tried so hard to give people that torch, and a lot of cats couldn't handle that pressure, man. Because you put that, but now I think people are more comfortable just letting players develop now. Because I remember when Jordan was doing the Jordan era, when he was leaving and coming back, people were like, okay, this guy's gonna be the next Jordan. This guy's gonna be the next guy.
Harold Miner.
Yeah. And that everybody kept dropping the ball. I thought Vince was gonna be real. I really thought Vince was gonna be.
Well, Vince was, but George said he didn't play defense.
He didn't play D.
He does not play defense like Kobe. Kobe was fine until he went to Colorado. Yeah, we definitely can't market the game behind. It's not going to work. No. I thought LeBron was too young. When they brought him in. He was too young to do it. I just think that it's unfair, even now with these comparisons to Jordan. It's unfair.
No. I think Bill Simmons hit the nail on the head with LeBron. He compared LeBron more to Dr. J. He said LeBron is more so Dr. J than Jordan. And when
He's Magic Dr. J, yes.
Yeah.
More there, yeah.
And when he broke it down, I forgot, he did this piece a while. I think he did the piece when they lost to Dallas. And he explained it perfectly. Dr. J, dynamic, a freak athlete, changed the game earlier with, the stuff he did around the rim. But he needed help just like LeBron needed help. And, he was a guy that really, he could take a team far, but he never, he never did it by himself, Well, nobody ever does it by themselves, but,
Here's the big dynamic I always argue with people with. Now, of course, I always get shot down with this argument. Take Scottie Pippen off. Let's take him off. How many championships does Jordan win?
Woo! Interesting. That's a good question. You think maybe he could have snuck one, but 6?
Not 6.
Nah.
Definitely not 6. I'd say anywhere between 1 and 2, maybe.
Cause you think about how before Pippen, he they went to the playoff when he dropped 6-3 on Boston.
Yeah.
But Pippen was there. He just wasn't. He wasn't what he is now. He wasn't. Remember, Pippen. It's just Pippen.
So Pippen.
It took him a while for Pippen he just was a good defender.
Right. And people forget that Pippen had an MVP season.
Right.
When Jordan left, and the nastiest dunk of all time on Patrick Ewing. Man. But yeah, you're right, and I think Jordan spoiled everybody. Jordan spoiled us, rotten, because now that's an impossible standard. He came and did.
It is, but I think that there has to be individualism. I think eventually, I just think that look, Jordan is just he is what he was. Bill Russell is what he was. All those players are what they was. I think we're too. LeBron drops a 30-point game in playoffs Sunday. We're all gonna say, "Oh my God, Jordan, why?"
Yeah,
I think when it's all said and done, LeBron's gonna be LeBron because no one's ever been 6'8", 280, and 6'9", 280.
They can play 1 through 5.
The game like he does. Dominate the game like he does. I don't see. It's just like if we're gonna I'm still more comfortable with Kobe Bryant with the Jordan comparison.
Right, because their games model each other.
Yeah, their game simply. I think Kobe really looked down the Jordan and said, "I want to be," and that's what he did.
Yeah.
I think LeBron never looked at Jordan.
No.
I think LeBron just came. LeBron's game just came more in. I think if anything, he might have looked at Magic and said, "Okay, maybe I could emulate Magic from the standpoint. I'm big like him. I mean, Magic probably was never that fast, but I'm bigger, stronger, and faster than Magic. And remember, LeBron can pass. LeBron's a great passer. LeBron's a great passer. He can pass that ball. I mean, he turns it over here and there, but doesn't. LeBron's a great passer. So he's got that as well. Like I said, remember jumping one, he was never a good jump shooter. Remember, Kobe was a pretty okay jump shooter. He wasn't as bad as LeBron was. He was okay.
But he became better. Yeah.
Kobe got better. Yeah, he got a better reach to the ball around the court. LeBron's getting to that point now. So now, but that's what he was 8 on 9. He was on 10 years into his career. He's getting to that point now where he can launch the ball anywhere. But still, that's still LeBron's biggest issue is for me as a coach. The one thing I want him doing is jump shoot all day.
Exactly.
I'd rather you jump shoot than to kill me at the basket.
Right.
I think that's what Pop was doing. I think that's a lot of what Pop was doing. What Pop did in 07, and I think that's what he might be trying to do now in this series here. Hey, if you kill me, jump shoot. As Charles Barkley said, I'll walk to the center court, shake my hand, and say congratulations. You got me. You got me. But you're not getting me dunking the ball and scoring and doing all that. And scoring and doing all that other good stuff. You're not doing it. No. I think with the thing with Indiana, I think with the thing with game 1 with the Pacers, I think, a lot of people say that, well, you should let go. You want LeBron James to jump shoot. I would have rather him pull up for a jumper instead of the blow pass by which Paul George played defense wrong, but the blow pass and get a layup to end the game. Hell no, I'd rather jump shoot. If he jump shoot me, that ball goes in. That's but then, hey, I can walk off the court and say, hey, I'll take that. I just got beat by the best player on the planet with a jump shot. Hey, I'm out. But I can't say I just got beat by the best player with a point blank layup, or hell, even worse, a dunk ball. Can't do that. So I just think that the comparison is needed. I just think that in fairness, you kind of have to just kind of kill off the comparison there, me at least. But obviously, ESPN and nobody would never do
And here's another interesting thing too. I think somebody asked on the Dan Patrick Show about Karl Malone. He was listing out his starting five, and he does not. He didn't have Jordan on the starting five, but he had Pippen on the starting five.
Karl Malone will always be bitter about losing those finals to Jordan. And then Jordan, because people forget Jordan was pissed off that he didn't get that MVP that year.
Yes.
That was the rub.
Mm-hmm.
That was the burn. And to me, Malone. I say Tim Duncan's the greatest power forward of all time.
Yeah.
Malone is top 5. I'm tempted to put KG ahead of him. I'm putting KG ahead of him because KG never had a point guard as good as Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
Worthy. Then I think Malone. But Malone. He's a little bitter.
Yeah.
I think he a little rightfully so. But yeah, he bitter. Yeah, you mad? Yeah, exactly.
It's just.
I cried laughing when I saw that. Boy, that's
Oh yeah, it's a hater move.
It really is.
And Malone was always a controversial guy. Remember what he said about Magic during that All-Star game?
Oh gosh.
He's always been one to put his foot in his mouth. And
that's why a lot of people on the Twitterverse hate him now.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you found out about the kids, he's like, oh, you don't even take care of your kids? You don't want to claim the kids?
I tell you what. I tell you what. Those Jazz teams in the 90s, yeah.
Damn, you can't tell me you didn't know that was your turn. You can't tell me that. You can't possibly think I'm gonna believe that shit.
I'm glad to have met Karl Malone, but those Jazz teams in the 90s, I hated them. I hated Karl Malone, even though he was from here. I hated him.
I never liked the Jazz though.
I hated him.
They were like, people don't like the Spurs now. I didn't like the Jazz. They were boring to watch to me. Now Stockton and Malone, fun to watch. I mean,
right.
Pick and roll, but I mean they were so dull.
Because it was that I think.
I wasn't big on the Bulls, and then I wasn't big on the Jazz, and they ended up playing.
Right. Because back when Jordan was with the Bulls, I was a Bulls fan. I loved it when they beat them. I think the years where I was trying to look for a team, the year that the Mavs played against the Jazz,
they put them
2001.
Yeah,
that was when instantly I became sold as a Mavs fan.
Yeah,
that was like they put out the team I hate.
Yeah,
I'm jumping.
That was the beginning of the Dirk era. But Malone. I mean, they were boring to watch to me, and Malone was always that guy. Something rubbed me about him, man. I didn't like him at all.
No,
I mean, I don't know. I just didn't care for the brother really.
I really hated Utah when Stockton nailed that 3-pointer against Houston.
Oh man, that was Houston's year, man.
Yeah,
that was Houston. Stockton was cold blooded, man.
Right.
And Stockton was an assassin. I mean, he made no expression. I think I've heard John Stockton talk maybe 3 times. Stockton looked like he don't, I don't know, man. He was perfect.
Yeah.
Care about how many points he got. I mean, he got points because, you know, a lot of people try to double Karl Malone and he was open out from the outside, shoot a free because he shot it. Or, you know, if he was running down the court, a lot of times if he get a steal, he'd run down the court and score and stuff like that. But for the most part, all he did was pass the ball. Malone caught it, shot it, went in. Or Hornacek was out there, he was going down the three. And, you know, it was pretty boring. And they just play that tough nose defense. Like, that's them. But in the Spurs took over. Spurs were born 2.0 back then because all they did was just play deep. All they did was just have two big tall guys in the middle of the lane. That was kind of important in itself too. But the Spurs, I think over the years, because I used to really hate the Spurs. But over the years, I've got to, look at, especially Greg Popovich and all that. I mean, I'm not gonna say I like him, but I kind of have respect for him.
Yeah.
That hatred, the respect for that hatred.
They're like the Patriots to me. You don't like them, but you gotta respect what they stand for.
Right. I love Pop. He's a great quote machine, basically.
I think because at first you always like had a dry personality, you was like, man, man. But then over the years you saw his personality, you saw the clips and stuff. Now you go, like, hey, guy ain't so bad at all. That's just how I used to feel. Like the hate coming in. The Bulls, I had a love-hate relationship with Jordan. Like, kind of like him, but then I hate him more than I love him. But it's kind of like again, obviously he was the best player in the game, so it wasn't like he never root against him. But it was like that. He had that charisma effect where you watched him, but you kind of
right. Well, I mean, oh man, the Pacers, Bulls, Knicks, Bulls was always good money. But we. Growing up in Louisiana, we didn't have a team then, so it was like Bulls by default. Yeah, it was like Bulls.
I mean, if you weren't a Bulls fan,
yeah, most people I knew that wasn't. I didn't know anybody my age that wasn't a Bulls fan.
Right.
Unless when I started meeting older cats, because most older cats were Laker fans. Those Laker fans, they passed that down, boy. You have to be a fan. They passed. It's like they came from Jerry. Since they great granddad like Jerry West, so then the son liked Wilt, and then the other boy liked Magic. So now you gotta like Shaq and Kobe, and now you like Kobe. Yeah, they passed it down. But the Jordan era, it was fun, but when you look back at it, man, it was like, God damn, I think if it happened now, we would root for them to lose.
Yeah.
It would be just like the Heat now. I think now, if Jordan era happened, people would root for Jordan to lose.
All these Heat haters.
Yeah, it would be.
Twitter would be.
Yeah, let them live, man. Let them live. I mean, I never blamed LeBron for leaving Cleveland. I just didn't like the fact that he went to Miami and then teamed up with Wade and Bosh. I wanted them to go to Chicago, maybe New York, but I didn't want the Miami thing to happen. But now, I mean, I'm over it. I mean, it happened.
Right.
When they lost that first final, that's when I was like, hey, maybe they're not invincible.
Right. I didn't want them to win that first year, and that's not just because the Mavs made it to the finals. If anybody would have played against them in the finals, I just wanted them to experience. Okay, look. You teamed up and all this stuff. It's not going to be as easy as you might think it's going to be. All right. And it turned out to be like that, and I guess it just got them so much motivated.
Well, let's look at it like this. Okay. As we know, next year they all have options to opt out of their contract. So we all know that next year could be the end of it. At this point next year, let's just say, okay, it's never really happened in the NBA, but we'll say for this hypothetical purposes, we get back to the NBA Finals and they play maybe OKC or something like that. This time, of course, we know OKC is a little more experienced, so maybe they can approach that game. Let's just say, for the purposes of an example, because they're already down in the series, that they do go ahead and drop the series against San Antonio. I'll make another scenario for if they win the series, but I'm going to make one for first. They lose the series. Let's just say next year. Let's just say next year for particular purposes they don't make the finals next year.
Right.
Is this quote unquote coalition build? Is this a success or a failure?
Would it be a success or a failure?
If they didn't win?
If they didn't win. If they didn't.
If they did win this year and they didn't win next year.
And they didn't win next year. Yeah.
Ooh. And LeBron was, and somebody, all right, now, you're talking about without somebody leaving? Because,
Yeah. They all waited to next year. If they all stayed till 2014.
would it be a failure? Well, damn.
Woo.
I think in the grand scheme of things, it wouldn't be, because you play to. I mean, you try. You play as a with Pat Riley shoes. You try your best to put the best team you can together,
Right.
and that's what he did.
And
He got a ring out of it. In 3 final appearances, nothing to sneeze at. But when you get the greatest player on the planet right now, and pair him with a veteran that's arguably the second or third best, then you get one of the best skilled big men in the game. You expecting more than one title.
Right.
And especially when you have a pep rally, when they talking about
Not
not one, not
two,
two, not three, not 4, not 5. So it's a double-edged sword. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it was a success. I'm gonna say it's not a failure. It's not a failure, but at the same time, it's not exactly what you expected.
Short term, we'll probably say that it is a failure because we would have expected a whole lot more from them. Long term, probably like 20-something years down the road, we get to look and see what did they do. I think that we'll probably look at it a little bit more as maybe more of a success or something like that. I wouldn't expect them to be like the 90s Braves or anything else like that, but I think it probably could be a little bit more of a success than failure. Who knows? How about you?
Is it a failure? Probably not, because their purpose is all they come together. It was to win another ring. Was for Wade to win another ring.
LeBron get one.
Ring, period. In Boston, same thing. A disappointment? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think disappointment.
I can agree with you on that.
I guess maybe. Well, again, I think the Dallas team. I think when Dallas was able to beat OKC and Miami was to and Miami got that they got that opportunity. I said before. I think Dirk looked at that opportunity and said, "Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes." He licked his chops in that one and said, yes, I got this." I think that was a payback finals, and I think that was at the expense. That was at the expense of what Wade did. That was the payback. OKC was the one that they should have won last year. I think had they lost last year's final, yes, it would have been a complete. Boy,
Twitter would have killed them.
A complete.
The media would have killed him. Skip Bayless would have killed LeBron in the game. Skip philosophy first. Now, of course, I'll flip it, and of course, the obvious answer would be here. Obviously, they come back from this series in the San Antonio. They win. Next year, they get to the final, and I guess they go. Well, obviously, if they go 3-peat, then obviously this was a complete success. They win 2 out of 4. They go to the next year's finals, or they don't make it to next year's finals, but they do win this year's finals. Mm-hmm. Obviously, of course, we'll say, yeah, that's a success. Now, do we know? Now, I guess the question is, do they all come back again and try and go ahead and finish their careers off here, or does Bosch say, okay, I got 2 rings, I'm out of here, peace out, or Riley says, get the hell out, 1, 2, does Wade, again, I think the injury with Wade, I don't think they're too severe, but at some point, how he plays, the style that he plays, he's not going to play that style no more because of the injury. I said the big R word, the big retirement word. Mm-hmm. He has to linger over his head, and I think then, if you look at LeBron, he does got 2 rings here. Now, I guess the question is, do you want to stay in South Beach the rest of your life, or do you want to go back home to Cleveland and play there? Or, I mean, and the question is, I think a lot of people are concerned, does LeBron go to the 3rd team or not? Yeah. That would be interesting too, because
Are you a great player on the third team? You know, because the first thing everybody was going to say was George Steph. Which technically, I guess, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean,
came back and was a wizard.
yeah,
So.
I mean,
Yeah.
they kept the team together though. I mean, when you have excellent management like that at that time, that kept the team together, and when you did lose a piece, when you kept the core, and you had Phil Jackson as your coach, why would you want to leave?
exactly.
And you're getting paid. I mean, why would you want to leave?
And what the bad thing about that was none of them wanted to leave. You know, that was Jerry Krause.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was Jerry Krause,
And-
Jerry Rice.
and that was the end, you know. But during the heyday, I mean, during the the winning, yeah.
I just think that, you know, I think that this final has a lot to do with how the team comes forward. I think, again, if they final, you really have to start looking at the possibility of the team being, you know, you know, it was fun while it lasted, but yeah, we're gonna have to be enemies again soon because we're all not gonna be here. And I think, you know, you look at this year with the Bulls coming back. Obviously, you know how hungry and thirsty the Bulls are because at the end of this season, wait a minute, we had a depleted team like this, and we still there to hang around you guys for 5 tough games. Ooh, I can't wait to see y'all. Indiana, same thing. Yeah, we know there's a few mistakes in that game. We didn't know what we're doing.
Yeah,
right.
They both want that salvation, that redemption. Because like LeBron, he got burned by the Washington Wizards a couple of years. Then he kept getting burned by Boston, and he finally got over those humps. So they in the same boat. It's just like Jordan when he was going against Detroit. You know, Detroit was smoking his ass 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, putting that burn on him, and he finally got past them. You know, Dallas and the Spurs.
Yeah.
So, you know, those teams waiting on their come up, and I think Chicago's going. If Rose comes back in MVP form,
All right.
they can make they can get get a free agent or two. I can see a guy like Iguodala going there too.
Yes.
If they cut Rip and do make a
They gotta
move.
get rid of.
Yeah, get rid of Rip.
Boozer probably.
I don't know Boozer. I don't know about Boozer.
Well, they get rid of Boozer, then they might can bring, you know, they have to get rid of somebody.
Yeah, I don't think Rip's coming back. Kirk, I don't know about Kirk.
Nate. No.
Nate.
Nate probably not.
Well, their free agents, I believe, are Nate. Yeah, Nate. It's Nate. Rip is team. They have a team thing on Rip, and then I think it's Marco Bellinelli.
Well, Bellinelli came through for him. It just, I don't know. Yeah, they got some decisions to make, but if they make the right moves, they're definitely the team I see that wants to get their revenge on Miami.
Right.
But as far as Noah, Dane, Heinrich, and all those, well, yeah, they're all coming back next year. So
Oh yeah.
the core of that team will be back next year, and then Derrick Rose in there. I think the only thing is you probably gonna have to take Rob there.
Right.
Bellinelli, I'm sure they can keep there for pretty much little or nothing.
Yeah. Get a bargain on him.
And Indiana is not going away anytime soon at all.
But Indiana, they're not going anywhere. They'll probably be more hungrier than anything now.
Definitely.
If you look at their success the last 3 years, of course, looking at the first year when they played the Chicago Bulls and lost 5. Then you look at how they lost in 6 last year to Miami. Then you look at how they lost 7 in Miami this year. Yeah, that team. I think the boys will be hungry next year. Paul George, I think I like what Paul George said after the game too about he didn't really expect it to be this good. Didn't expect it, so he didn't really work like that. But you best believe this all season. Oh yeah, I'm working to get back to this level. I'm gonna work as hard as I can for us to get back here. Because next year we expect to go to the NBA Finals, and that's why I think that's one of those things right there. Whereas you didn't expect it, but it happened. But now you know, hey,
Right.
we we're taking them money. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good season next year. There's gonna be a lot of teams next year that it's a step up. I think another good team out west that we're gonna watch is Golden State. I think obviously now become a new team that we want to sit back and see how well they do.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's not about the Golden State team in 07 where they wowed us and then they like little teams that follow the season. So we'll see.
We definitely will. I got a good feeling that this next season and the season to come is pretty much going to be pretty good and everything. So that'll pretty much do it for this for today's show right here. When's going to be our next show?
That's a good question. Maybe Sunday.
Sunday
night.
Okay, that works for me.
Do a halftime show, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that works for me.
Cause nobody likes the ABC crew.
Oh, definitely.
Nobody likes the ABC crew. It's a.
If they don't blow that thing up.
You got too many talking heads, man. I love Bill Simmons.
Right.
One of my favorite writers.
Mm-hmm.
Makes great points.
Mm-hmm.
NBA commentator.
No.
But
Simmons is gonna mess around and get fired.
yeah, cause he's too bold and he says things that they don't want you to say.
Right.
And then you got Wilbon, the company guy, who's another commentator. You got two commentators.
That
and
are
then
company guys.
yeah, they're company guys.
Magic and Jalen are okay. They
Yeah,
obviously.
Jalen's good.
Jalen's the only one that's like funny. Right?
Yeah, Jalen's the only one I really listen to. Then you got Magic, who's just Magic.
Oh, my gosh.
You know, I swear to God, if it wasn't for Showtime.
Listen. Magic Johnson said basically one of the best lines in sarcasm here that I've basically heard. Whichever big three plays better in this series will win the series.
Oh yeah,
dude, I think a 3-year-old baby could have told me
that's
that.
expert analysis. Magic is man. I don't get it. And he I hate to have so many bandwagoners on that team, that broadcast team, because Wilbon pick anybody who winning.
Right.
Whoever winning, he say they gonna win the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Magic, he fickle too. He don't know who he picking to win. Jalen talking about Tony Parker top 3, and Simmons.
Said the Lakers were gonna go to the finals after that. Who they beat? They played the Spurs on ABC. They won here when they played it right before the season started. They played the Spurs on ABC like maybe a week or two before the season started. Yeah, the Lakers probably gonna go to the NBA finals. Of course, Kobe tore his Achilles and everything.
That's what Jalen Rose said.
No. Jalen Rose just said.
Oh, thank goodness.
Magic.
Magic.
Magic kill Bill the Lakers every game.
Magic still getting paid.
The Lakers are making a stride. They're gonna win. They're gonna come back and win the playoffs. Dwight Howard's amazing. Kobe's the greatest. They lose the game. Well,
Dwight Howard makes me mad. If Dwight Howard don't get this gun, Dwight Howard has to. You know what? I think Magic got what you call Magic. I think Magic got your boy fired. I think Magic had a lot to do with that because Magic.
He used to rip Mike Brown.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of basketball they're playing. All that. I'm like Mike
Brown needs to be fired. Like, he said that about a week later. They were like, they Magic. I'm like, yeah, dude. I think you still got some time. Yeah, you still got some fool around.
Oh yeah, and then Magic forgets how horrible of a coach he was.
Oh God.
Magic, cut the brother some slack. I think you know what? I think Mikal might be the
Mikal actually he's become a good coach.
Yeah.
I think Mikal's biggest issue, and I think the Garnett thing could have been said is Mikal, when he fired Flip, he took over as coach, but then he left and went back to the front office the following season. That's when they brought Dwayne Casey and all the other guys. And Mikal kept that coaching job, kept coaching the team. I think things would have been
Yeah.
Larry Bird.
I was about to say him. I kind of wish Larry Bird would have stayed as a coach.
Larry Bird said, I'm doing it for 3 years, I'm out of here.
Bird hates losing too much.
Yeah.
When
that's
Bird
the
lost
thing.
in that finals, I bet he wanted to probably quit. Like he was like, man, this is some BS. Like I can't take this. Bird hates losing that much.
I lost to the Lakers too.
Well, guess who he lost to?
Yeah, the Lakers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that burn, man, that burn. So he I think he's in the perfect position as a what as a president, GM, was president, a consultant.
Actually, I heard he actually talking about buying the stake of the Sacramento Kings.
Oh man. So Bird's basically becoming the new Jerry West when it comes to team management now.
I think he is. Yeah. I mean, well, he helped build that team, and I mean, I didn't know he had drafted Lex Stevenson. I didn't know that.
Huh.
He drafted Lex Stevenson.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah, he got clout. He's making
put that
moves.
Pacers team together. So obviously, if that Pacers team, remember, if the Pacers go to the finals again, that's 2 times on his watch that they've gone to the finals.
Right. So, yeah. He's a valuable commodity to that franchise.
I think he did better coaching coming out of that than Magic did. Magic did. It's like, yo, I'm a businessman.
Yeah, Magic a more hands-on guy. You know, he type of guy. You know, he's a player first than most. I think his problem was getting out what he wanted to say to the guys. You know,
Right.
Bird just. Oh. But Bird, man, Bird just, I think his basketball mind is underrated sometimes. I think like just how Kobe got that Kobe doing work movie. I think if you did one on Bird, man, it would probably blow your mind.
I remember Bird saying, hey, great players and great coaches. I remember him saying that when he was in Indiana. He's like, I'm going after. He's like, I'm only giving it 3 years. I'm going. So third year, he walked away.
Yeah.
How ironic he loses against the Lakers of all teams.
Right.
Exactly.
I remember him always saying, great players and I meant to be great coaches.
Yeah. And
Or
that's-
GMs.
I guess he's the only great player who actually had to do with it.
oh yeah.
Or GMs for that matter. Look at Jordan.
Oh Jordan. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Jordan got too many. People were saying he running like a country club.
Oh yeah, for dressing.
He got to pay your fans and not a business people. He got to be a fan worker.
Oh yeah, hey, man, Jordan thinks he cannot be told anything, man. The way Jordan dresses just a middle finger to everybody. It's like, man, look, I don't give a damn how I look. I'm Michael Jordan. I can wear these yellow pants and this jean jacket if I want to. Jordan's a trip, man. Jordan, you know, old cats love Jordan so much, man. He made the hoop earring. Old cats with a hoop earring, basically.
Jordan reminds you of that old school dude.
Yeah.
Like
he's still young.
Yeah, he be hanging around a little young. I used to like this.
Yeah, we always do it with the Stars jeans, the hat on backwards, man.
You know, I wonder if that website is still up.
My uncle used to do that stuff when we were in our late teens, try to hang around. I can hang around y'all. I can do this like this. When it's so late out. The young girls, they love me. They love me more than they know. Like, man, dude, you messed that up for me. Go on somewhere, dude. Jordan reminds me of that. Like, some of the young players, I'm like, man, Be what they are. As the great Dennis Green said.
They are who they thought they were. We let them off the hook. All right. We're going to get a chance to basically call the show right now. We'll be back on Sunday, pretty much. We know that you guys do not want to get the chance to hear the ESPN on ABC crew. So hey,
yeah, tune in to us, man. Hey, Clarence, you gotta come through.
You gotta do this.
You gotta come through for us, Clarence, man. We need a 3-man crew for this because ABC ain't cutting it, man. I think the TNT. I think TNT probably make a move to try to buy the finals soon.
Yeah,
man.
they did too.
They need to go ahead and throw some money on the table.
But hey, until then, hey, tune in to us 3. Give us some laughs. We'll give you some laughs. We'll definitely give you some laughs. And barbershop talk here and there too.
Yeah, we definitely will. Especially if that game goes the way I think it's going. The way I think it might go.
Well, all right, we're gonna call the show right now. I'm Lamar Gafford,
I'm Robert Brown.
and we're basically just gonna say until Sunday. See you later, and have a nice day.